Welcome to episode 5 of the F&S Podcast. This is one half of the F&S Podcast, Matt.
What it is, Josh.
Okay. So, the first segment we're going to tackle is something we wanted to introduce to the people that we were talking about before the first episode. We just haven't implemented it yet. It's Fixing My Squad. And that's for the NBA. I got to get my knowledge up for the NFL before we start doing that, but
that's all right.
Yep.
That's all right. I mean, we got to start somewhere.
Right. So,
and it's easy to start with the things that you know the best.
Right.
the things that you know the best. And so the Fix My Squad segment, this is basically us sharing our opinion on what we would do if we had the power to make moves with every squad in the NBA. And we're gonna start with the two teams that finished with the lowest on each conference, and what we would do to make them a winner. Pretty much the beginning steps, maybe, to hopefully making this team a champion.
Right, exactly. You want to tackle the Blazers or the Pistons first?
Well, let's hit you in the heart first. You know what I'm saying? Because we both been to the games. We both agree on a lot of things here. But this is the one that I want to give you the floor on the most because, like I said, this is your heart right here. This is the Pistons. This is the Pistons right here. And we all know what the Pistons mean to each one of us as far as what they've done for the league and basketball, period. The Pistons is normally a team that we can associate with at least being in the playoffs.
Exactly.
And they are a team that we can associate with being champions.
Right.
So for them to be at where they at right now, they got the worst record in the East. And is that the worst record in the NBA?
I think so. Well, I mean, at this point, does it matter?
It matters for the lottery. You know, you get how many lottery balls you get for the draft.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Pistons got the worst record in the league, unfortunately, which makes no sense to me because of what they kind of showed they could potentially be last year.
Right.
And then now you got these things happening this year, and they, man, I mean, there's not too many teams that I can go through that didn't win a game in a full month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's still crazy to think about it because when you look at their roster, you say this is a team that's better than 14 and 68. Roster-wise, they are better than 14 and 68. So something is off. Something is wrong.
Well, that's what I've been telling you the whole time. Well, I projected that would actually go to the... I didn't say there'll be a high seeding, but I thought with who's on their roster and then looking at the Heat and all that, this is the playoffs, the Pistons should have been somewhere...
They should have been play-in tournament team.
You know what I mean?
At least play-in tournament team is what you're saying. They should have
been at least... playing
because I don't think they. Well, you know, I'm gonna save that for another day. But
no, say it now.
Well, I don't think the Pistons is worse than the Washington Wizards, nor do I think that they are worse than the Charlotte Hornets for like what they got on their roster. Toronto, maybe. Brooklyn.
Well, when we talking roster, but now we talking about you want to roster-wise, the Pistons aren't that bad off in talent roster-wise, but
even before the trades,
exactly. But with it's deeper than what's on that roster because initially Monty Williams rejected the coaching job, and I know folks will probably say, well, they paid him more money. Listen, all money, not good money. And if somebody reject you the first time, you probably should stick with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to pay him extra millions if he didn't initially want the job in the first place.
Yeah.
So
I was hoping that Dwayne Casey was going to remain the coach.
Mm-hmm.
and build this team up. Considering what he did with Toronto, I get that he didn't win a championship with Toronto, but every year that he was there in Toronto, he became like the Raptors got better year after year, and he won Coach of the Year.
I can't be mad at Dwayne Casey winning a promotion. I can't be mad at the promotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, but with him being in that position, because I think he's the one who hires the coach, right? Is he the one who hired the coach?
I would hope.
Or he suggests, or he makes a strong suggestion, and
I don't know.
Him hired. Either way it goes,
this was a mistake.
It was a bad because.
Well, either way, I'm gonna give you the floor first.
I'm not gonna say Monty Williams. From what it looked like, he's not a good coach.
Okay.
But motivation got to be a key factor in this. That's what goes with players and anything. So it's like, if a coach is not motivated and don't want the job, what's the type of effort he gonna really give? If he just took it for the check, which I don't think is good. I mean, you know, like, I don't know how much extra they offer him for him to take the job if he initially rejected it.
Right.
But I'm not offering you extra millions to take a job you didn't want in the first place. Right? Because I would have rather hired a coach like Chauncey Billups. I think he was already hired as Portland Trailblazers coach, but I'd rather hire Chauncey Billups, somebody who wore the Pistons jersey.
Jamal Mashburn or something like that.
Who? As a coach?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a number of coaches out there that deserve a head coach.
Jamal Mashburn?
Yeah.
I don't know his history like that to even speak on that, to be honest with you.
Am I thinking about the right person? No, Stackhouse. I'm sorry, Jerry Stackhouse.
Yeah. So Stackhouse, him, he wore a Pistons jersey, and he really wants to coach. He wants to coach. Right. So a guy like him, you wouldn't have had to pay him that. I'm not saying you should lowball him, but you wouldn't have had to pay him that much. Not as much as you would have to pay Monty Williams to come over there and actually give an actual effort to coach and actually care about, winning.
So is that step one?
At this point, listen, I'll fire Monty Williams right now.
So that's the first thing that you're going to do. First thing you do, let him go.
Monty Williams out the door.
Now,
I'll fire him on his contract and everything.
Okay, all right, because I was going to say, because like you don't want to end up in the Milwaukee Bucks situation.
I offer a buyout of the, because I think they pay him, like, if I'm not mistaken, I don't got it pulled up. I think they pay him like $70 million or something crazy. It's a crazy amount. So we cut that thing in half to get you up out of here. I don't see how you reject that if you don't want the job anyway. So we cut that in half, and I just pay you to kick rocks. I don't see how he will reject that.
You gonna take your losses now?
Yeah, just take your millions and leave.
Take your losses now.
But first business order will be getting rid of Monty Williams. He got to go.
So who's your first options to bring in?
As a coach, I will go against the grain. I'm not even gonna say it's going against the grain, but the Warriors. Mark Jackson jumpstarted the Warriors, that system, and then Steve Kerr came in and implemented that. So
correct.
I think Mark Jackson will be able to extract everything needed out of this roster.
Right.
Currently constructed. I mean, I wouldn't keep the roster the way it is, but first step is hiring Mark Jackson or a coach that knows how to work with young guys.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen evidence of Monty Williams actually being able to work with young guys like that. It's not veterans.
We in agreement there. Like I wouldn't keep Monty around either. I wouldn't do that. I would actually, you know what? Given what's been going around, like if I can't get Mark Jackson or Jerry Stackhouse, I'll be interviewing JJ Redick, man.
I'm not mad at that. JJ Redick knows his basketball. He knows. See, the best coaches tend to be role players anyway.
Right. So, I mean, with what we've been able to hear with his mind and how many interviews, like I heard that he's like in heavy consideration for the Charlotte Hornets job.
Yeah, I seen that.
So if I'm Detroit, I'm giving him an opportunity And who knows how he may personally feel about the roster, because I personally feel like after you make a coaching hire, one, they should educate themselves on the roster.
You would think so.
And then, based on how they feel about the roster, then that should be your next motivational move to make the next step.
Well, I don't think you should even interview for the job if you're not familiar with the roster in the first place. That's why I was confused when Monty rejected the offer, and they still.
I feel like that was all Dwayne Casey, man.
But I don't understand that right there. I don't get that, because obviously he didn't want to coach the players on the team. Like, he didn't. You know what I'm saying? So
maybe it could be something other than that. It might not be the players, because Monty, he was a coach in this league for a good number of years, and I would assume that being in this league for a good long period of time, you can hear about how every organization is, and based on what you hear about each organization, about the owners, about how they do business and things like that nature, then you can make the decisions mentally as far as like, I'm not sure if I want to work for them, or I'm not sure if I want to work for them.
Right.
So I'm not saying that you're wrong that Monty didn't want to coach the players. I'm just saying maybe that's not what it was. Maybe he just didn't want to deal with the people up in the office.
I'm just throwing darts. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
I don't know.
But clearly,
life for me, I don't understand that. But
regardless of what it is, he's not getting the job done with a roster that I think is capable of being better than the worst team in the league.
They're definitely better than the worst team in the league on paper.
Right. I mean, okay, so you want to go through the roster? You got to pull it up?
I got to pull it up. So I'll just say this. I'm gonna say who I would keep first. So I'm keeping Jalen Duren. I like what I've seen from Jalen Duren. I don't agree with the whole Ben Wallace thing, but I'm keeping Jalen Duren.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Cade Cunningham. I don't.
Say it, man.
I don't know. I think I will use him as trade bait. I will see what I can get for him, because I don't think Cade Cunningham got in his chest, to be quite honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the comparisons. I've heard comparisons to Grant Hill, and I don't understand why they would compare him to Grant Hill, because if you look at Grant Hill and if you've seen how Grant Hill played basketball before he got hurt, Grant Hill was a killer. He may be nice, but he was a killer on the court.
Right.
He ran the ones. He could play defense. He did everything. Cade Cunningham don't do all that, and he don't even play with the same motor. I didn't see that when I seen Cade Cunningham in college, when they was drafting him, and even when they was talking about him in college, I didn't see it then.
Well, I'll just say this about Cade Cunningham.
I like Jalen Green more than Cade Cunningham. Jalen Green seemed to got more in his chest than Cade Cunningham.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe
from what I seen, maybe it's the coaching over there in Houston, but from what I seen with Jalen Green, how he was getting down,
I don't know,
I don't see that in Cade Cunningham.
Becoming a father can have a big impact on a man's life. So
whatever the case is.
So I'm just gonna say that. But as far as Cade Cunningham is concerned, after being to the few games that I've been to, you can obviously see that he has skills. He's the most skilled player on the team. So that's the first guy that you would get rid of, like that you
I would use him as trade bait.
Okay, you'll use him as trade bait.
I would see what I can get, just like how Broussard and Rob Parker on the show was talking about. Not saying to necessarily trade Joel Embiid, but just seeing what they can get. It's not a concrete thing. But if I can
see what the market says.
Yeah, if I can get a haul back for him.
Well, I mean, when you look at the roster of them, you didn't even finish going through the roster.
Right, exactly. I was just breaking down, like, I would keep Jalen Duren. I want to keep him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's, like, at least down low, he get rebounds, block shots. all that. I mean, he don't got many post moves that could be adjusted. You know what I'm saying? He could work on that. I like Jalen Duren down low. Cunningham, I'm 50-50 on keeping him and trading him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not big on this Me Too guy. I don't know who that is, to be honest with you. Troy Brown Jr. He not bad. But if somebody come with an offer that I can't refuse, he'll be out the door.
Yeah, but that's not going to be a high price to get.
No, I'm just saying that there's somebody that I deem, if somebody come to my table,
and they want.
Yeah, and if they give me a good player, he's a part of that, then I go ahead and let him go. Roden, he cool. I like Asir Thompson. I would keep him, but with the blood clot issues, I don't know how serious those is. I mean, blood clots are serious, period, but I don't know how severe his is.
Right.
But from what I've seen from him, I'm not trading him. You know what I mean? Wiseman, I told you how I feel about Wiseman. I think Wiseman, when I see him in person, I'm like, dog, he got the tools. I think you even said he could be like a knockoff Joel Embiid.
I definitely never said that.
You did.
But you
said something similar to a knockoff version of Joel Embiid.
I don't know what you be hearing, and I don't know where you heard it from. Maybe it was a dream or something like that, but I've never compared him
I clearly wasn't dreaming.
I never compared him to Joel Embiid, not even a little bit.
We was talking about this on WhatsApp. He said that he could be close to what Joel Embiid is, the stuff that Joel Embiid be doing. I don't agree with that.
He ain't got no evidence to prove this. There is no such thing as the evidence to prove this.
I think Wiseman, Wiseman, I keep putting my finger on him. Like, I don't know if it's the fact that, I don't know.
Wiseman.
I don't know, because I don't know what was going on with the Warriors. Because the GM or whoever said that they think they made a mistake by trading him. That was actually an article that was put out there.
Well,
I don't know, but and then Monty Williams
doesn't give him no money.
I don't, because he wasn't a big fan of DeAndre Ayton, so I don't know.
Look, Wiseman was getting minutes with Dwayne Casey as coach.
Was he?
Yeah, he
How long was Casey coaching under Wiseman? Was it a whole year?
With Wiseman, it wasn't a whole year because they traded for him mid-year. So when he got him, he got minutes. And it was like him and Duren was splitting the time at center.
To me,
then the other one, man, look, Marvin Bagley.
They traded him.
Right, and they traded him away. So
I agree with that trade.
That team right there that existed last year with Duren, Wiseman, Bagley, Isaiah Stewart, Bogdanovich, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. That team right there, it looked like it was on the verge of being a version of what Oklahoma City is doing, with a whole bunch of young players that could contribute a lot. Not saying that they had the talent, but when you look at Oklahoma City, you look at their roster, the average age on their roster is like 23 years old. And when you look at those crops of players, you're talking about a young core that you could possibly develop and you can keep around for a long time. That's where I'm going with this. So when you look at the likes of the possibility of Duren starting and Wiseman backing him up, or Wiseman starting and Duren backing him up, whichever way you want to do it, or you want to have both of them start and have Bagley come off the bench, both of those guys is under 25. All three of those guys is under 25, 24 years old. Then you got Cade and Ivy. Both of these guys, are they old enough to drink? That's how young they are. So you got a young squad that they can grow together. And if they was to grow together, it could be on some Oklahoma City type stuff to where you got to worry about these guys because they got young players and every last one of them contributes.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you. I've told you this. in a sense. Not in those exact words, but OKC is that's a little extreme because they nice.
Well,
OKC.
the only issue with Oklahoma City, I feel, which is, I'm not trying to change the subject, but when you have a team that has that many young players that contribute to winning, when it comes time for them contracts to run out and you got to start paying players to keep them there, you're not going to be able to keep them all.
I'm going to say this as far as who I would keep on the Pistons. I'm not about to run through the whole.
Okay.
I'm not about to do that. So, the players I keep, I'm keeping Duran. I'm 50-50 on Cade, and he might be trade bait. You know what I'm saying? If he showed me something in the summer or something like that, and if because I think his rookie contract finna be up soon anyway. If it's not already, what I mean?
He only been in. This is what, his second year?
It's coming up. That's why I know it's because they only get like a 2-year. What is like a 2-year?
I don't know what's the standard NBA contract, but I can look that up.
I know the rookie situation about to be ended soon, so at this point I'm talking to Cade to see what he on. Do he want to be here? And whatever the case is, do you want to build here or not? If not, then I'm putting him on trade. He gonna be trade bait. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm 50-50 on him. I'm keeping Sir Thompson. And plus with his blood clot situations, I don't know if you're able to really move him like that anyway. I'm keeping Wiseman because I want to give him a shot, and I'm keeping Ivy. I do like Sasser. I like Sasser.
Okay.
But if I get an offer that's decent, he wants, and if he's part of the trade package, it depends. I'll let him go. Isaiah Stewart, he getting up out of here immediately ASAP because Isaiah Stewart, to me, I don't see what Isaiah Stewart does that's good. Do you? Huh?
Isaiah Stewart is like he tries to be the tough guy.
Did he try to be Draymond Green?
I don't know in what sense you mean that in.
As far as being an agitator or a tough guy on the team, or
he just tries to be the tough guy on the team. Like, I don't know, like
that
whole situation when he was trying to charge LeBron and stuff like that. Like that whole situation seems like it kind of like got to his head, and now he think that he's like a proven tough guy. What does he
do good on the basketball court?
I have no idea.
All right then. So that right there tells me everything I need to know.
Jalen Duran, he'll be a free agent in 2026.
Okay, so we got him for a little bit.
So you got him for a little bit. Ivy is going to be a free agent at the same time because they was in the same draft.
26, you say?
26.
Okay, so we got him for a minute.
Cade is 25.
Yeah, so his stuff about to come up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, his stuff about to come up.
Yeah.
Sasser's 27. Sir Thompson is 27.
Right, so
Isaiah Stewart, they must have re-signed him or something because he's the 28.
That's crazy. Anyway, look, the people you mentioned is the guys I'm pretty much saying I keep.
Right.
So everybody else can go. Right. Now, Sasser, like I said, Sasser, I like Sasser. But if somebody comes to the table with something I can't refuse, nothing personal, I let them go.
Right.
But the first thing I'm doing, I'm getting rid of, I have to get rid of Monty Williams. Because I think a big key, I think the majority of this is Monty Williams.
What?
I think the majority of this is Monty Williams, though. I mean,
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
He not out there playing, but they play better without him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I have to put the focus on Monty Williams here.
Now let's look at this whole equation. Monty took over a roster that we both felt that if he would have kept that roster intact, there would have been that's a better team than what we look at right now. But if you get rid of Monty, obviously Monty has a certain style or certain type of players that he wants different than what the Pistons had. You bring in a different coach, now you're gonna kind of be taking on the same challenge.
Monty, I push back a little bit on that because Monty, he has, like how a job seniority, you know what I'm saying? Stackhouse and them don't have that. So can they really go to the office demanding who should be moved and not?
Well, I feel like as a coach, you should have some kind of a voice in that manner. It's kind of like, I'm gonna use a football example, but when Bill Parcells was coaching the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones was doing his normal thing, one of the famous things that Bill Parcells said is that, you want me to cook the meal, then at least let me buy the groceries.
Right.
Let me buy the groceries.
It's a nice analogy.
So every coach is going to want to have some sort of say so on the players.
No, I agree. Yeah.
So that's why I said you're going to essentially be taking on that similar challenge, because whichever coach you bring in, he's going to have a certain philosophy that he thinks that he can win basketball games with. And he's going to look at the roster and he's going to say, okay, this guy fits, this guy doesn't fit, this guy fits, this guy doesn't fit, whatever the case.
Right.
And so he's going to look at the roster, he's going to be like, okay, well, I can work with him and him and him, but these guys, I can't work with those guys.
Well, I agree there. But at the First thing and foremost, they gotta want to be there.
Right.
At least want to be there. Monty didn't want to be there.
Right.
So we could work all that out afterwards if you want to be here.
Right.
And if you care about having this Pistons logo on your shirt and want to actually win with this franchise.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, whatever coach that would come in and take over that job, he's gonna want Cade Cunningham on the roster.
I'm not saying definitely trade him, but I like players with a motor.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I like Ivy, but Ivy is not as skilled as Cade. But Ivy looks like he might have more in his chest.
There's guys who could be more skilled but less successful due to their motor.
Right.
We looking at a guy like Jason Tatum right now, who don't have much, like the motor just, like you looking at guys like Brandon Ingram, Tatum, these dudes, you see them with the tools.
Right.
Even if you throw Wiseman in there and Cade Cunningham in there, right? They got the physical tools. They got everything you need as a basketball player, but they're missing the motor. You can have a nice car that look official on the outside. You open up the door, the seat's official, will smell good, but then you open up up under the hood and in the motor bag. What does that mean?
No, I hear what you're saying, and you're right. Ivy is like that stock Honda Civic. You know, he don't look that impressive or anything like that, but when he gets out there and runs, it's almost like he done let the Fast and Furious mechanics kind of like do a little tuning up and working with him or something like that, because he plays harder. So I don't know. Like me personally, I would entertain keeping Cade, Ivy, and Duran. Everybody else. Everybody else.
So what about Thompson though? Sir Thompson?
Oh yeah, Asher Thompson. Yeah, I would need to keep him. So those four.
Yeah.
Everybody else. Evan Fournier. No. Isaiah Stewart. No. Quentin Grimes. Maybe you got a chance.
Well, Grimes, he decent, but like I said, he's a guy that if somebody come at me with an offer and it's dope and he's a part of that package, he gonna go.
Right. So the flip side of this, okay, so we identified the guys that you'd be willing to keep. Who would be your targets to go after to bring in? And you got to have realistic targets.
Well,
because right now, let me see here. Let me see if I can
with the availability of talent in the league, is tough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's tough to try to find, like, I mean, I can't say D-Lo. Because I don't think D-Lo want to come to Detroit. And then also, we got Cade, so we don't need D-Lo.
Well, it's not even about that. I mean, like, look at this guy. Like, the last thing that he put on his resume is not...
No, but what I'm saying, I'm just throwing out certain names that's at least decent. Like,
so let me show you. So let me read off to you the guys that's supposed to be free agents.
I was just about to say, because I was about to pull that up, but you got it.
So right now, obviously, LeBron James, Paul George, Klay Thompson, Tobias Harris, James Harden, Pascal Siakam, Gordon Hayward, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Buddy Hield, Bruce Brown Jr., Lonzo Ball, Evan Fournier, D'Angelo Russell, OG Anunoby.
I don't see one needle moving, but go ahead.
Gary Trent Jr., Markelle Fultz, Davis Bertans, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Jonas Valanciunas, Malik Beasley, Tyus Jones, Luke Kennard, Doug McDermott, Gary Harris, Robert Covington, Rashawn Holmes, Nicholas Batum, PJ Tucker, Joel Ingles, Taylor Horton Tucker, Alec Burks. You want me to keep going? Malik Monk.
I mean...
Malik Monk, Monty Morris, Royce O'Neal, James Wiseman is set to be a free agent. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo.
So Wiseman might leave.
Gary Payton II, DeAnthony Melton, Nick Claxton on Brooklyn, Patrick Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein, Mo Wagner, Jeff Green, Miles Bridges. Cody Osman, Isaac Okoro, Daniel Tice, Deshaun Tate. It's a much longer list. I mean, I can keep going. I mean
that's not necessary.
You want me to just pull out the top names? I mean,
the guys you named, do they make a difference on the roster? Unless they're
for
a championship team. I mean, like DeMar, like
it's not realistic for some of the like older vets because some of those guys I would think that they would want to compete for a championship.
Yeah, like
versus help build a team.
Like
up.
I do like a guy like I like DeMar DeRozan more than some because he wouldn't make a difference. He got to go to a championship team at this point in his career.
Without getting in the way. If you keep Cade, without getting in the way of Cade's development, without getting in the way of Ivy and Asura Thompson, I feel like you need to attack the big man position because you might be losing James Wiseman.
Yeah, I mean, for what it sounds, I didn't know Wiseman was going to be a free agent. I wouldn't stay in Detroit if I was Wiseman. As much as I want to keep him.
Jonas Valanciunas might be a name.
But Valanciunas...
On the Pelicans...
But Valanciunas, wouldn't he want to play for a contender at this point? Would he want to go backwards to go to Detroit if he played for the Pelicans? Not saying the Pelicans was contenders. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, would he want to actually... Would he get play time with Monty?
You said that you would get rid of Monty. That'd be your first order of business.
That's what I would do. But is Detroit going to do that?
Well, this is why this is called Fix My Squad. Mm-hmm. If Matt was in this position, what would Matt do?
Well, Monty's the first cat out the door.
Exactly.
Monty will be going, and then because the roster, I don't dislike the roster necessarily, but Monty, my gosh, but in either way it goes, we probably gonna lose Wiseman because of Monty.
Well, the thing is, losing Wiseman is not a big blow because of what you got with Jalen Duren.
Right, but if I'm looking at the big man over here.
It really just depends on what you want. Like
we really only got one true center. We have one true center. That's it. We don't have so
it might be one of those things where you might need to bring in a vet to help better develop maybe.
Because Duren is the only guy that's the actual center. I mean, Wiseman, I guess you could say he's a center, but we probably gonna lose him. I'm like 80% sure he gonna dip.
So, you probably don't have a chance at Nick Claxton or Isaiah Hartenstein.
Why? Nicholas Claxton played for the Nets, right?
Right.
Why wouldn't we have a chance at him?
Because he's a starting level center.
So?
He's not backing up Duren.
He's better than Duren.
But why would you want Duren to back him up?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, okay, let me ask you this.
Duran gonna clean up the boards better than Nick.
Let me ask you this. If
you
Claxton,
want offense,
I'm gonna ask you this. If Claxton showed interest in playing in Detroit, would you turn him down if you was the GM?
if I had the understanding that Jalen Duran wants to stay here, I'm not entertaining nobody that wants to take his spot because I feel like that'll be time wasted.
So, Valanciunas, will he be back up to Duran?
Yeah, Valanciunas would be back up because you look at Valanciunas right now, even though he's a starting capable center, he's going to be 32.
I wouldn't mind signing Valanciunas. I like Valanciunas.
And that'll give you the offense of big men.
I like Valanciunas. I mean, but
Him or Daniel Tice, he's another center.
that's the white dude, right?
Yeah.
I like Tyson. He's not no starting level center anyway.
Exactly. So he would
I
be
would
backup.
definitely sign him as a backup, and I wouldn't have to break the bank for him. So I mean, those two names that you mentioned right there, I wouldn't mind signing those.
Those are the main two that jump out to me.
I would sign
because
those two as a backup to. If we lose, I say this: if we lost Wiseman, I would try to get those two, but I don't know how irritated because Tice do get a little bit of clock.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this because I just scrolled down and I seen another name at center.
Who?
That could be a little bit of a reunion.
Who?
Andre Drummond. He's already backing up Vucevic.
I would say this. I would have a conversation with Drummond because I would take him over both of those guys. Valanciunas and Tice.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Drummond, his best years was in Detroit. That's probably what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Drummond, I mean, I don't think at this point. I mean, I think he could be starting for some teams. You know what I'm saying? But he would have to back up Duran.
Yeah. Mm-hmm,
He would have to back up Duran. But I don't think it'd be a problem. I would love to. That would be a great situation if I had Duran and then we had
Drummond coming off the bench
because you not missing nothing. If Duran, we gotta sit Duran down, Drummond coming in and doing the exact same thing.
Right.
So it's constant pressure for whoever having to play down low and deal with that. So I would definitely go for him.
Right. Those are.
I would go for him.
Those are the type of names that I would be going after at that position.
I like to have 3 at each position. That's what if I had a roster, I like to have 3 players at each position.
Yeah, because that's your 15.
I like 3 apiece. You know, that's how I do it. When I play 2K and I do my franchise, I always have 3 at each.
Right.
Every time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. There's another name, Rashawn Holmes is another guy that keeping entertained with that because when he got playing time with the Kings, he was a double machine. Let me see here. But yeah, that's what I would do with that. I would keep Duran starting, and then I would just like shore him up a little bit more by like bringing in guys that he can learn something from.
I mean, we suffering at the center position, so I mean, I definitely would attack that. So, like I said, Wiseman, I'm probably about 80% sure he leaving.
So
if we kept Wiseman, if we kept Wiseman, I would try to go for Valanciunas gonna want minutes though. Drummond would too, so that's it's hard.
That's fine though, because you know what that does? If they get minutes, that can potentially keep Duran fresh and out of foul trouble.
That's true. That I mean, because I'm trying to think who can I move to the 4 sometimes if
out of them,
I can't. So
none of them is like really like that.
I definitely couldn't move. I would try, like, if we keep my whole thing would be trying to keep Wiseman and actually giving him more clock. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's the thing.
I'm focusing on trying to keep Wiseman and trying to give him more clock because Wiseman is better than what's advertised, but it seems to be that teams Well, the Warriors gave up on him, and then my man's regretted it. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, like I said, Monty Williams be having issues with big men. I think he like a certain style of a big man, like Tyson Chandler. I know he liked Tyson Chandler a lot, right? But I don't know what it is about certain big men he don't like, right? But Tyson Chandler to me seemed to be his style. He had a good relationship with David West, right? David West. He was with wasn't Monty Williams over there with the Hornets, David West and Chris Paul and them. I think the best players over there. Didn't they have Paige as well? I think it was Chris Paul,
Monty,
David West.
I don't think he was the head coach. He for wasn't that over team. There. No, he was the head coach for the Eric Gordon team, and they just drafted Anthony Davis. That team.
Okay, so disregard that. All right, so
from what I remember.
Okay, so if I'm Detroit, this is the deal. This is the deal right here. Because I don't want to stay too long once we gotta get to the Blazers. If I'm Detroit, first order of business is get rid of Monty unless he choose otherwise that he want to be here. Initially, you gotta believe it's like courting a female. If she didn't like you at all, period, from the jump, and you had to coerce her to be with you, she didn't want to be with you, and it was for some other ulterior motive. You know what I'm saying? Which was money. So Monty Williams got to go unless he came to me. Otherwise, like, listen, I want to be here. I know I had a bad season. Whatever the case is, I'm going to show you otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Then I entertain keeping him. But if I don't get that conversation, he got to go. And then the second order of business is keeping Wiseman. And talking, look, Wiseman, I don't want you to go. I think you could be one of the best bigs in the league due to the landscape of what's out here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give you a shot and a chance to show and execute because I think Wiseman, given the opportunity, can play the four sometimes. You can play both Duran and Wiseman at the same time. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I want to keep them two for sure. I want to keep Wiseman. So I'm trying to keep Wiseman. If I can't keep Wiseman, I will go after Valanciunas and Drummond, those two. I'll be trying to get them.
Yeah, that's...
Because the free agent market ain't all that, you know what I'm saying? So
that makes the most sense to me. I mean,
the free agent market, the players we got on our team just need guidance, really, you know what I'm saying? Monty is not providing that guidance. So Monty is out the 95% out the door for me, unless we have a nice heart-to-heart meeting and hammer out situations and details. And he convinced me otherwise that he actually want to coach the Pistons and be here. You got to go, man. We're going to buy you out that contract. And I'm going to talk to Wiseman. Like, listen, I'm going to get somebody in here that want to utilize you and help you grow. I would even, hire, if they don't already got that, hire a developmental big man that focus strictly on Wiseman and help him get better as a big man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And lock in on him because I'm looking at this roster and it's like we not trash. You know what I'm saying? We not trash. We got some nice core pieces to where we can compete on a nightly basis.
Right.
But people are humans, and if folks is not on the same page, it can go left real quick. That's how good teams lose to bad teams.
Right.
So that's what I would do with Detroit.
So really quick, my opinion, fire Monty by all means necessary. Bring in a young, hungry coach if I can't get Mark Jackson. I don't care who the young, hungry coach is. I just want him young and hungry. It can be Jerry Stackhouse. It can be J.J. Redick. It can be... I don't care. Somebody who's been coaching in college, that's been itching for a chance. I don't care. I'm bringing them in. As far as the roster is concerned, I'm 75-25 on keeping Cade because I have the same questions about his heart and how much he wants to win and how much he... And here's the other thing. It's not just how much a player wants to win, but it's also how much he hates to lose. because a player that hates to lose, when they get that bad taste in their mouth of losing, my expectation of a player that I want is when they lose, that motivates them to get in the gym and work on their game.
Right.
And then they're going to come back a whole different animal.
I agree with you.
So that's what would be my judging basis for that. So Ivy, I'm willing to keep, but I'm also willing to shop. Asur Thompson, I'll keep to see what he can develop into. He's a pretty good athlete, really good athlete actually. I can see him. My thought process tells me that I hope that this guy can turn into like the Bridges cat on
Miles Bridges?
On Brooklyn.
Miles Bridges?
To be like that kind of a defender.
Okay.
That kind of a defender, and then who knows what he can be offensively. I ain't gonna put no names out there.
Right.
But and then Duren is the must keep for me. I mean, in this era, if you can get 20 rebounds in a couple of games in the season, to me, that's something that's valuable. He's not somebody that I have to run the offense through, but he's somebody that'll help me still score just by cleaning up. So I'm keeping him. So I got a young core that I got. I'm gonna want to bring in some vets to help them usher their.
Well, that would be what the rest of the guys for is you trade for vets, right? You trade those guys for vets, right? I'm keeping. Well, you mean the rest of the team? The guys you mentioned that you keep. No, you keep them,
right?
But the rest of those guys that's looking just for young guys, you trade them for vets, right?
I would try to like Evan Fournier. To me, like, no.
Is he not a vet?
He is a vet, but he's not somebody that I want them learning from.
What about I just mentioned his name.
You talking about my man that played with the Bulls, Taj Gibson?
Yes, he a pretty decent vet, right?
Yeah, he.
You'll want to keep him, right? Like to play for Duren, just to because.
But I want vets that I can throw in the game and actually give minutes to where I can look at my young player and be like, you see how he just did that right there?
Okay, yeah.
That's what I want you to do.
Right.
So Taj Gibson ain't somebody that's getting minutes like that. I mean, look, he's at the end of his career, man. Like he's like
But now, let me ask you this: would you say it's important? Because remember back in the heyday of the NBA, well, the golden years, they had vets that wasn't getting minutes, but showing players how to be professionals.
If he brings that to the table, then I'm willing to keep him. I'm just not breaking him off to do that.
No, I don't think he cares to have minutes like that. Because I think I didn't even know he was for Detroit, to be honest with you. I did not know that. But when he was playing for New York, he played for New York for a little second. And he said he got in the game and wanted to come back out. I think he said something like that because it was like, oh man, he had a win. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's some vets, well, I don't know if they got those guys anymore, who would just want to be on the roster just to help the young guys.
I'm sure those vets still exist. It's just that the NBA kind of told them that we don't value you.
I don't understand. Well, the product of the NBA now is due to the NBA's own fault, if that's the case.
Yeah.
If you're telling these old guys that they can't be around to teach the youngins, because it's not like they go all the way to the 15th, 14th, 13th spot of the bench and play these guys. So those guys should be the OGs teaching these young dudes how to be professionals and teaching them how to practice and get better at their game and holding them accountable outside of the coach. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's what every team needs, but not every team has that. That's part of the reason why the Heat somehow stays in the conversation. That's part of the reason why the Heat somehow stays in the conversation. For some reason, the Heat always stay up in the conversation. So, so that's I would go after vets to teach the young guys. I might bring in a player that's in his mid-20s, a player or two that's in their mid-20s that'll come off the bench, that'll keep me from being a strictly half-court team whenever I got to send my second unit out. So,
is there anything wrong with being a half-court team?
No, there's nothing wrong with it if you can be efficient with it.
Because
you have to be efficient.
Spurs never was they always slowed the pace down.
But they were super efficient.
That's what I'm saying.
They were super efficient. So you got to be efficient with it. Yeah. You got to be efficient with it, but you also can't be bad defensively just because you can't keep up.
True.
Because with underskilled young players, you'll get run out the building, like exactly what you was just talking about with Taj Gibson, how he got into the game and he was trying to get out. You could easily walk into a situation like that. So if you're going to have a half-court team, they got to be efficient. They got to score on 3 out of 4 possessions. They need to score, and they need to play sound defense to where they can close out a defensive possession by getting the rebound.
Okay.
And so looking at the free agency list,
this is a week. This is week. I'll be honest with you. All these guys.
I'm going after Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield, the free agent?
Yeah.
For Detroit, though, Buddy Hield want to play for a contender, right? At this point, right? In his career?
He don't demand that.
What?
He don't demand that. He don't demand playing for a contender because Buddy Hield, he didn't reach at least what his general manager said when he drafted him.
What did his general manager say? I don't even know what he said. What did he say?
He said we just got Steph Curry out the draft.
I never heard that.
Well,
I never.
Look, exactly. So that's
the violation saying that.
But Buddy Hield can't shoot from the perimeter. So
that's what I'm saying.
I would go after him because I didn't know he was this old already. Like this dude, he already 31. I didn't know he was that old already.
I would think that he would. Well, depending on his mindset, but I would think he would want to go to a contender, or contenders would want him.
If that was the case, he would have did that already.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying. But I would take him for Detroit. Somebody for Cade to dish it to.
Or Doug McDermott. Doug McDermott is another player that I would go after.
He's a 2, right?
He's a 3. He's a shooter.
I know. But does he play defense to put him at the 3?
That's why he comes off the bench. I'm starting Asura Thompson.
Right. I mean, I get what like I said, we should, I don't know what our cap is, but we should be able to obtain the names you mentioned.
Right. Because
I don't,
I'm looking at this and I'm trying to think of players that'll be good for the team. Man, it's slim pickings, man. It's really not a lot on this list that I'm like, yeah, that's the guy that I want to. It's really nobody that jumps out at me like that. Like
that's what I'm saying. I would like. Listen, this is the thing. I'll say this.
Patrick Beverly.
No, man.
I'll bring in Patrick Beverly. If you was willing to bring in Draymond Green, I'll be willing to bring in Patrick Beverly.
This is the thing. I'm gonna tell you why I would bring in Draymond Green. I would say he's a Michigan native.
Right.
It's different why I would bring in a guy like Draymond Green. He's a Michigan native. And Patrick Beverly, for as much as people don't like Draymond Green can run the ones. He can distribute the offense. I think Draymond Green will be actually I think Draymond Green to be a good coach, to be honest with you. He's one of those players that probably would be a good coach.
Right.
So I would bring Draymond Green in Detroit. I would definitely, but I don't know how. I don't know what his contract looking like, but I would trade for Draymond Green and bring him in Detroit because he will hold these young cats accountable in that locker room.
Oh, and then here's the other type of player that Detroit can go after.
Who?
They can go after young players that didn't get an opportunity.
Well, I thought that's what Wiseman was supposed to be.
Wiseman, he got some opportunity, but he just don't gel with that Warriors offense because he's not the same type of shooter over there.
He's a
Wiseman.
Dog. He's a big man. He shouldn't even. His role ain't even a shooter.
That's part of the reason why when Golden State drafted him, to me it didn't ring as if this is a guy that we draft and that fits what we want to do. When you draft a guy like Wiseman running the offense that you run, that's a different. You're changing the whole way that you operate.
Right.
If you expect to keep him for a long time.
Wiseman's an inside out kind of guy. You throw it inside.
Which is part of the reason why Kuminga might not. I don't know if Kuminga is going to be there.
Well,
because Kuminga is not the perimeter shooter that the Warriors offense likes.
I mean, look, the Warriors. That's a whole discussion.
Okay,
we're gonna talk about them on another squad.
back to young or guys that got drafted high, and then for whatever reason they lost their spot, but they still active in the NBA. Like, I see Dennis Smith Jr. on this list. I would entertain bringing him in
because I think at one point him and Donovan Mitchell.
No, him and Luka Doncic.
Luka?
That was the team at the beginning. When Luka got drafted by Dallas, Dennis was already there.
No, but I thought that him and Donovan was being compared.
Oh, I don't know.
Dennis Smith Jr. is better than advertised.
Yes, he is. Him, I'll be looking at Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker is better than advertised.
Lonnie Walker, I'm like, look, yo,
see,
man.
These names, I would definitely go for in Detroit because they're not.
Cam Reddish.
Well, Reddish, yeah, because Reddish, for whatever reason, Lakers don't give him no burn.
I don't understand. I mean, we know the reason.
What?
We know the reason why.
Why? With LA, Austin Reeves. Is that the reason?
He plays the.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is he the reason?
Darvin Ham is the reason. Darvin Ham is the reason why the Lakers haven't looked right.
Well, they on the verge of getting swept. So I mean, but
I don't know. But anyway,
look,
him. Let me see. I had seen some other players.
But I like the names you mentioned. But at the end of the day,
Chris Dunn is another name that I would entertain bringing.
You have to get rid of some of these guys to even get them though, because I think
but some of these guys is already going to be free agents anyway, so you just don't re-sign them.
Right. Okay. Cool. Because I don't know So if these is guys,
would you bring back Spencer Dinwiddie?
If he wants to come, but I think at this point with Spencer Dinwiddie, he clearly want to play for a winner right now, and Cade Cunningham and Spencer Dinwiddie kind of play similar. They have a similar style of play.
That's why one of them comes off the bench.
So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Spencer want to come back, because I like Spencer Dinwiddie. I just think he be getting played wherever he go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Spencer Dinwiddie, the Lakers.
Well, I'm going to tell you, like, look at this. Imani Bates is set to be a free agent.
Bring him home. But I don't know. It may not be good for him.
It might not be good for him.
Coming home, personal reasons, it may not be good for him. But I will definitely bring Imani Bates to Detroit. I don't know if he want to be home, though.
Right.
Because
we want to look out for players' well-being.
I'm going to tell you this with Imani Bates. Because Imani Bates is cold.
Right.
He can get Cade up out of there if he...
It doesn't hurt to trade him away.
And Imani Bates is a Michigan guy too, so he gonna wear that Pistons jersey with pride.
At least you will hope.
That's just my old school way of thinking, I guess. You know what I'm saying? That's
my
old school way of thinking.
I mean, well, it's the new era of athlete, which is we can have a whole nother segment on this. Mm-hmm. But it's the new era of athlete that playing for the home team doesn't really mean that much. Yeah. Because if that was the case, Imani Bates would have stayed committed to Michigan State instead of going to Memphis.
I don't know what happened with that. I didn't even know that he was even committed to Michigan State. I thought he
was committed to Michigan State for the longest. Tom Izzo had him. It was a solid year and a half that he was committed to Michigan State.
I don't know what happened then. I thought he automatically was going to Memphis.
No. No. He was committed to Michigan State. So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's what I would do with the Pistons. That's what I would do, because the damage that's been done to their roster, you kind of can't reverse it.
Well, like I said, they got a nice core. They still have a nice core. The only thing I'm concerned about is Wiseman.
Right.
Leaving. Because I think Monty is done wrong by him. I think the Warriors did wrong by him. So I think Wiseman's situation is the fact that the league has shifted off the big man.
Okay, so to combat that, and I'm just coming at a different angle here. What has Wiseman showed that says that he demands an opportunity?
I say this. Because he plays in spots. He gets minutes in spots. When he actually got minutes, he
Can be good.
Can do.
He can be good.
But when you play him in just little spots, he don't do nothing. Yeah. When he get a rhythm, he handles business. But you gotta actually.
That's how I felt about Marvin Bagley.
But you gotta actually commit to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't in a sense he make mistakes, now you pull him, because all players make mistakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even the best of the best make mistakes.
You
gotta let them learn through the mistakes.
Which is, unfortunately, with this new era of NBA, the big men don't have the same leash that the guards do.
The guards be making the worst mistakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But they don't give the big men the same wiggle room to make mistakes.
They should get the wiggle room because they do the dirty work.
Listen, look, we are in agreement here. But I'm just saying, okay? So, yeah. But anyway, that's the Pistons.
All right,
you ready to go to the Blazers?
Let's go to Portland. Because I actually, you know what's crazy? Like, you know,
it's going to be a similar story because they got
a nice squad. I mean, a nice young squad. Man, I'm gonna say this. I don't even mean to cut you off and go into it. I'm very concerned with Chauncey Billups because I feel like my bad, y'all. I feel like that Chauncey's gonna create a culture. Because this is the thing with young coaches. They come build up their system and do all the leg work, then they fire them and bring somebody in after. Mark Jackson thing. You know what I'm saying? I almost feel like Chauncey Billups is gonna build his culture, get them on a winning path, and then they be like, oh, we need a new voice.
Well, Mark Jackson wasn't fired because of basketball reasons. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Okay.
I would just leave it at that. It wasn't because of basketball reasons why Mark Jackson got fired. So,
we got. First of all, I'm gonna go through who I'm gonna keep first, and then we're gonna slide. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm keeping Scoot because I like Scoot.
Okay.
I think Scoot is dope. You said you like Anthony Simons. I like Anthony Simons.
Yeah, but he already expressed that he's tired of playing for a loser.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh. So he probably gonna be out of there.
Hey, but that's trade bait.
Okay. Matisse Thybulle, I like him. I don't have a problem with Thybulle.
Thybulle, he's a 3-and-D guy.
But I don't think he damages the team.
No, he doesn't damage the team, but you don't feel his impact on the bad team. Like, when he was playing with Philly, you felt his presence there because those defensive stops actually meant something.
Okay.
His defensive stops in Portland hold no weight.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think that he ain't going to hurt your team.
No.
But, I mean, like I said, he's not going to, you can plug him into 3, you're not about to suffer there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He going DeAndre Ayton, I like Ayton. I know you don't like Ayton like that.
Well,
I rock with Ayton.
Going with your famous saying. I don't know if he got it in his chest. That applies a lot to DeAndre Ayton. Like, we seen the clip. Do we need to rewind history a little bit to go back when he was playing for the Suns? and he was just standing back watching.
He should do more. He should have did more in the finals, man. Like I gotta say that.
Somebody that has the size, has the skills, but
when I looked at him play, like you know, there was they was trying to compare him. I seen it saying that where they was trying to say he was a light version of David Robinson. It wasn't me that said it.
See, this is why everybody don't deserve a voice. Because, first of all, Ayton don't even play defense.
They said he was a light version of David
And now
Robinson.
you going to compare him to the Admiral?
I think the Admiral is disrespected sometimes. Because you never hear Admiral being mentioned with like the greatest centers. You don't hear people talk about the Admiral at all like that, to be honest. And he dropped his 70 piece back in the physical era. I just want to put that out there.
Well, to be honest, I think it was before somebody had messed up on his stats. I think it was because I think I seen a video where he actually, if the NBA didn't screw up his stats, he had a quadruple double in the game.
I seen something to where he had a quadruple double.
Yeah, so
I don't know what game that was though. I don't have that.
But anyway, yeah, anyway, back to the Blazers.
So Thibault, then you got Ayton. I like Ayton. I mean, if I get a good offer for him, I let him go. Bannon, I'm not familiar with him. Chris Murray, that's Keegan Murray's brother. I don't know how good Chris Murray is. I know Keegan is alright.
Keegan is on some early Klay Thompson type stuff.
I don't know about Chris, so I can't.
If he's anything like his brother.
Malcolm Brogdon, I know you like Brogdon.
Malcolm Brogdon, he's solid. He's just not like. So he was on Boston last year.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say Boston was like, yeah, we're gonna trade him because we're gonna go get Drew Holiday.
Well, Drew Holiday's better than than Brogdon. So I mean, I'm not about to sit there that's one of those situations to where if I got a better option.
But essentially what I'm saying is if Malcolm Brogdon handled his business the way he should have been handling his business, they would have never even been shopping for that.
I feel you. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, Shaedon Sharpe, I think
young stud player that he might not reach his max. I mean, some of these players, they going to probably be wearing a different jersey in a year or two.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know much about Haggins, Mignogna, Reith, Kamara. We started to talk about some Jabari Walker. I know you like Robert Williams, but he injury prone.
I love Robert Williams, man. Robert Williams is everything that I want in a center. It's just that he's not.
You like him better than Duren?
When he's healthy, man, look, Duren is bigger than him, so I like Duren better just because he has more size to go with the same kind of game. Mm-hmm. But they both got the same kind of game. They both are athletic. They both rebound the ball well, and they both defend the paint well. You don't need to run no offense for them, but they'll catch a lob if you throw it up. Mm-hmm. They both got the same kind of game.
Okay.
I love Robert. I just hate that he can't stay healthy, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Then we got Baji, know about him, and then Ray and Rupert. I've seen a little bit of him. Like I said, they're very similar to Detroit when it comes to.
Do I see that his number for his jersey is 72?
Who?
The Rupert cat.
Yep.
Who does that? Okay. All right.
Nah,
Patty Mills was just wearing 88.
They like Chauncey, the head coach, and Scott Brooks, the assistant. I don't think that's bad coaching. I think Scott Brooks is pretty decent.
The only thing is Scott Brooks was the head coach for Oklahoma City for a minute. Mm-hmm. And then he was coaching the Washington team.
Wizards.
And Scott Brooks, to me, he's more fit to be an assistant coach than a head coach.
Well, he an assistant.
Right, but what I'm saying is, the reason why I'm saying that is he must have a problem using his voice or something like that.
I'll say this. I'll say this about coaches. Just like you got certain players that's just not leaders. Like they say, Kevin Durant, he not a leader. Carmelo Anthony, he not a leader.
Right.
But he knows the game.
Right.
He's not a leader though. But assistant coaches, in a sense, is just as valuable as head coaches because you got some players who have good relationships with the assistant coaches. And the assistant coaches can pull things out of that player that the head coach can't.
Right.
That's why they're valuable. You know what I mean?
So, I don't think it's necessary to make, it's not absolutely necessary to make changes to the head coach, to the coaching over there.
I think you gotta I don't know who Roy Rogers and all these assistant coaches is.
They obviously
no clue who these guys is, but Chauncey, you got to give him some time to build his culture because you got to give him time to build his culture. It's gonna take a few years to even build a culture.
Well, he's been there a few years already, so
I think
he's running out of time. Yeah, he's been there.
He was there with Dame for like 1 year, right? He was there for like 1 year before he got shipped.
Well, this is. Let me see here. Let me look this up because it's important. I mean, I know this ain't his first year or anything like that. He's let me see here if I can get a timeline. So 2021, he was the head coach for the Blazers. That puts him there. This is his second or third year.
Yeah, I mean.
So he's already been there a couple of years.
Yeah, but I mean, with the youngins that's over there, that they, first of all, it takes a long time to win. I think that the casuals. So I'm gonna leave you out of this, and I'm gonna leave just the people who listen to that's hardcore NBA fans that understand the process out of this. But the casuals, they don't understand that it takes a while to even for a player, it takes a minute for them to understand all the nuances of the game to be able to win.
Well,
that
dives into a whole other thing.
You know what I mean?
But anyway,
it takes a minute to
But see, my thing is,
I'm not gonna get rid of a coach if I know he's got a good culture there. Like if he's doing his job and implementing the cold culture, and the players just if he just don't got the right personnel, I'm not gonna put that on him. But if I got the right personnel, and then he just making all the wrong decisions and just on some other stuff, then I gotta let him go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at a certain point in time, you want to see the team starting to head in the right direction.
Well,
now given this is the first year without a star player, number one player that he can
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is first year without. They got rid of Dame, CJ, and all of them. So he got nothing but the young dudes now.
Well, he's got Jeremy Grant over there still, if you want to consider that as counting for anything.
Jeremy Grant should have never signed him. I already told you with Jeremy Grant. They should have never signed him if they was getting rid of Dame and them. You know what I'm saying? Because that didn't make any sense. So he would be the first. Hold on, his name is he? I'm looking for his name on the roster. Mm-hmm. Where you at? Jeremy? Oh, there he is. Yeah, Jeremy Grant to be traded. I forgot to mention that he'd be on the trading block immediately. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's no purpose for Jeremy Grant for that Portland Trail Blazer team because he's not a star, but he could be one of them guys that can help a team that's contending. Right. But he's not gonna help a bad team.
Yeah,
his numbers is gonna be hollow on a bad team because he don't move a needle on a bad team, but he can move a needle on a good team or a contending team. So he got to get up out of there immediately. I'm getting him. He will be the first cat out the door.
The problem though for guys like Jeremy Grant, when you sign big deals and max deals, just for the sake of getting all the paper that you can get, which is, look, by all means, if you out there to try to get as much paper, then go ahead. Mm-hmm. But you got to understand how that impacts your ability to go to a contending team. Because a contending team, when you think about the books, they already got a lot of their finances already wrapped up in a couple of players.
I agree.
And so when you coming in with this massive check that you want people to pay you, that limits your ability to go to a contending team because they might not have the money to pay you.
And that's where they get it twisted. But see, that's a whole, we can have a discussion about that. A whole nother day about players getting money outside the league. You know what I'm saying? Because, Jeremy Grant don't have any endorsements, not that I understand. So he gonna get all the money he can from the NBA.
Which is,
I'm not knocking it.
I'm not going to be mad at anybody for going to go get their money. But I'm not going to be mad. But so essentially, you can't play for both when you're that kind of a player. You can't be like, I want the money and I want the win.
Right. You can't cap, because really when you do that, you cap strapping.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You cap strapping.
And so
the team,
that's the point. So maybe he can go to a team like Oklahoma City that still got to pay young players.
I don't think they need him though.
They don't need him.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the other issue.
They don't need him.
They don't need you. So why? So like you, if you want to win, there's some sacrifices that you have to make. And at the end of the day, even if you do take a little bit of a pay cut from what you could max get, you still getting paid very well. You still getting paid very well. We all know that 80 million is worth more than 50. But 50 is still very well paid.
That's another discussion for another day when you are wasting money.
Right.
So I mean, really, because honestly, if you want to keep it all the way live, if you got a $5 million contract, you could be straight.
Right.
If you live within your means. But that's a whole discussion for another day. So we're not even going to do that.
I mean, just to stay on topic though, we don't got to spend as much time on the Blazers as we did on the Pistons. We kind of going to be repeating some of the same things here.
They're very similar because they don't have the Blazers don't have a bad team.
Right. They just are more rich at the guard spot.
Yeah.
Then
it look like they need veterans too, just like
I will say this though, I would be getting rid of DeAndre Ayton if it was me.
I feel like this with Ayton because if I can't get a good deal for him, I'm not just gonna throw him away and then really be hurting at the center position.
Well, it depends on what you determine to be a good deal.
Ayton, let's see.
I will say this.
Wiseman?
I will say this.
Would you trade him for Wiseman? Because initially I think Ayton was supposed to. I think he garnished interest from Detroit, and I think he even accepted the deal from Indiana, but the Suns matched it.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
So he was about to slide anyway.
He was about to go over there, and that which means that Miles Turner, he would have been either moved on to a different team, which is most likely the case, or he would have to back up or whatever.
Well, Miles Turner let me down anyway, so. But would you trade if Detroit came? Well, he about to. Well, let's say sign and trade, right? So say if Detroit signed and won and did a trade offer with you for say if I'm Detroit GM and you Portland GM, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sign, but I'm gonna trade Wiseman to you for Ayton. Would you do that straight up?
I would definitely think about it because it's if you Portland, you already in a developmental phase with your roster. So taking on another player that's at a different position, I don't know how much of a hard hit that would be. Me personally, though, I would be talking to the Knicks.
For who?
Isaiah Hartenstein. I think
tall white guy?
Yeah. Well, he's actually black too. He's actually half black. His pops is black. He's just real light skinned black, like Sinbad light skinned black.
Okay, but him?
Yeah. I think he's a better player than DeAndre Ayton.
Really?
He showed me more in his chest. He showed me more in his chest.
Him?
Yes, I would. That's me. That's me. DeAndre Ayton, he's only showed me that he will fall short of what I need. And to be heavily invested in that, I can get better production from Hartenstein and not pay him nearly as much.
So you want a cheap route?
No, I'm not going to go the cheap route, because that money that I'm saving by getting rid of you and bringing in cheaper, I'm going to invest that somewhere else.
Hartenstein?
Yes. Without thinking twice about it.
What quarter?
It's halftime. They just started.
Are we just getting live updates from Denver and LA? We keep an eye for the sweep.
But yeah, so that's what I would do. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, I don't know if he wants to be great.
I'm not saying he do, but
I don't know if he wants to be great in his
Hartenstein,
production. Hartenstein showed me more in his chest than what he do. And Hartenstein is a big body, so I'm not losing size here. Hartenstein at least tries to play defense.
What position does Sengun play? The fourth?
Center.
You
ain't getting Sengun. Not for DeAndre Ayton. I can tell you that right now. I mean, look, nobody loses credit for trying here. Okay? You can always say, hey, look, I tried. They said no.
So let me ask you this. If because Jeremy Grant, we gotta get him up out of there. So if the Trailblazers offer Jeremy Grant for Sengun, think they'd do it?
No. Sengun is a keeper. Part of the reason why Sengun is a keeper is because of how hard it is to find good centers in this era. And then the other reason why Sengun has value is when he plays against other good center matchups, he does his fair share of dirt.
Okay.
Against the matchups, like go back and look at every single time they played against the Denver Nuggets. I'll just let that be my take on Sengun. We both agree that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league. Just go back and look at what he does.
He is the best player in the league by default. But
it is what
looking
it is.
At Ant-Man,
it's coming. He's coming.
I don't know. Like, I mean, by default, due to the success rate and Jokic, he's official.
Okay, so let's just say Ant is the best player and Jokic is the second best player. What are we saying?
It's 1A, 1B.
But what are we saying different here about Sengun?
Sengun?
Right.
He's not in that class yet.
No, but what are we saying different?
To mention Sengun and the likes of Jokic is kind of and the
No. I'm not saying that his name is in the likes of them. What I'm saying is when he matches up against Jokic, it's not no clear one side here.
No, I mean, listen, with Jokic, the key to with Jokic, if you can play defense on him.
It's not just playing defense on him. Like, he get busy on offense too.
Jokic get busy, but
him, Sabonis.
Listen, out of prime, Dwight Howard can stop Jokic.
Right. We all know that.
So
we all know that. We've seen that.
If you literally locked in and played defense on Jokic, you neutralize this dude. Because Jokic don't even play defense.
Right, exactly.
So if you just locked in, focused on playing defense on Nikola Jokic, he would literally be obsolete.
Or better yet, you know what? I'll talk to Miami. If I'm Portland. Look, y'all look like y'all need some size.
I hope you don't mention Tyler Hero. Dude.
No. I don't need Tyler. What do I need Tyler for if I got Simons contractually on my team? Mm-hmm. I got Sharp and I got Scoop. What do I need him for?
Maybe shooting.
I'd rather just draft me a shooter. There's shooters coming out all the time.
Respect.
So, but what I'm saying is, y'all look like y'all need some size. Give me Bam. I'll do Bam and Ayton straight up.
you mean? You talking about keeping them on the floor at the same time?
No. If I'm Portland, I'm gonna send that offer to Miami.
You would trade Ayton for Bam Adebayo?
Yes.
In the West?
Yes.
In the West?
Yes.
And have Bam play center in the West?
No, I got Robert Williams on my squad. I'll take my chances with him at center. And you know what else I can accomplish with that? I can throw Jeremy Grant in there by clearing out the books.
You overpaying.
I'm overpaying?
Bro, you sitting there for Bam Adebayo. You said DeAndre
I'm not saying
and Jeremy Grant?
I'm not saying just them two by themselves, but I'm saying in the package deal, I'll send them two to Miami to get a younger player and Bam. And maybe I can get maybe I can probably pull another player off their roster that will be willing to entertain.
You was better off with just a straight up trade.
No.
And Bam.
No, see, but these are the things that teams do when they want to get players off the books.
No, I feel you. I agree. But
because right now Jeremy Grant is in the way of Shaedon Sharpe.
how much he gets? Like 100?
Jeremy Grant, he's up there with.
He get like 100 something.
Let
right?
me. You want me?
Yeah, look that up.
Let me pull up his
I see he
contract.
get like 100 something.
Because Bam is a better player than DeAndre Ayton.
Bam Adebayo is a better player than DeAndre Ayton, huh?
Is that debatable? Are you?
Bam Adebayo
Is a better player than DeAndre Ayton? Yes. Playing out of place, might I add.
That's a debate for another day.
It's not even a debate.
I don't understand how Bam not overrated to you?
Bam is just in the wrong position. Bam is really a 3. He's not a 5. But he's just forced to play the 5 because Miami don't got no real number 5. So here, I'm gonna give you your real 5. Here's DeAndre Ayton. Here you go. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So while he looking this up, Portland and Detroit is in a very similar situations in different conferences. They have enough talent to compete. I just think they have two different issues. I think that Detroit have a head coach issue. And what's Portland's issue? It can't be the coaching, right?
Well, that's not proven yet. But right now,
We know it's the coaching in Detroit. We know that.
So right now, Jeremy Grant. Are we talking about Jeremy Grant or DeAndre Ayton? You wanted his contract?
You talking about Jeremy Grant's?
Jeremy Grant is on a 5-year, $160 million contract. If I can just give that away to get that off the books.
Man, I wonder why they did. They did that thinking they was gonna keep Dame though.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I'll probably just go ahead and just dump him off.
Exactly.
Deal.
Package deal. Here, 2 for the price of 1. There you go. You got your size right there. Eric Spoelstra, here you go. We ain't gonna be we ain't competing for no championship no time soon. You see that gauntlet that we got to go through in the West?
Right.
We ain't competing for no championship long time though. I mean, both of these guys is 30. Here, go ahead, do what you do,
Jeremy
Spo.
Grant 30?
Yeah. Let's not. Okay, so remember, Jeremy Grant was on the bubble Denver Nuggets team. That's when he started first. When he first started to pop off.
Yeah, he's gonna start declining soon. So, because Jeremy Grant is not no needle mover at all. He's not a needle mover.
And DeAndre Ayton is on a 4-year, $132 million contract.
I'm keeping DeAndre Ayton before I keep Grant.
I'm getting rid of both.
I mean, I hear you. I'm just saying.
I'm getting rid of both.
I'm not.
I'm getting rid of both.
I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. Like they have. It sounds like they have a slightly different problem. I ain't gonna say it's slightly, but I don't think Detroit is cap strapped like Portland is.
Well, yeah, because they don't got no heavy, big contracts on their books that are older players.
And those teams aren't big free agent destinations either. Portland or Detroit. Mm-hmm. No one clamors to go to either one of those teams.
Right. Those are teams that you have to build through the draft if you want to maintain success. Which the only part that sucks.
But the crazy part
is that the draft don't bring out the good players that they used to.
The crazy part through history, they had success though.
Yes.
Bad Boys Pistons, 04 Pistons. I mean, they had great players too as well. Like, Grant Hill. They've always had.
Well, so the Pistons route. When we think about their last championship, right? Chauncey Billups, journeyman. Ben Wallace, he was on a couple of different teams before he went there. Mm-hmm. Rip Hamilton, they got him from
Washington,
the trade, right? How did they get Tayshaun Prince?
He was drafted.
Okay, you traded or you got?
We traded Rasheed from Atlanta. He was in Atlanta for a hot second. We traded.
Right, exactly. So for Detroit, the draft really hasn't proven to be that valuable to them as of late.
I agree.
For Portland, that's a different case because Portland they've actually drafted fairly well when you think about it.
Yeah,
that's a team that has made the right kind of decisions with drafting, going back to the LaMarcus Aldridge and Damian Lillard.
Right.
Being the last two players, and then even when you look at their current team, they got players.
Right.
Simons.
Right.
Is an example of that. So
Simons came from the Suns though, didn't he?
No, he got drafted to Portland.
Oh, I'm thinking of my man he ended up going to Brooklyn. I always get them mixed up.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is if I'm Portland, I'm sending the offer. First, I'm gonna send it straight up. Ayton for Bam. Give me that. Swap that.
I'm in a disagreement with that, but it's okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Getting another update. Thank you.
72-61 LA. What quarter is this? Third quarter. Lakers could lose this easily. All right.
Yeah,
continue.
they could lose this easily. They watched the 20-point lead squander. So being up 11.
To be honest, I'm kind of hoping they win. I'm hoping they do because my God. But go ahead.
Well, I called them to win one game.
I feel like they'd get swept, but go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Anyway, Jeremy Grant, that contract has got to get off the books.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
That contract has got to get off the books.
Well, I thought that honestly,
I'm happy that he's getting his money.
To be honest, I thought they was going to trade him because remember, they signed him like in the offseason of that. I thought they was going to get rid of him as soon as January hit.
Right. So I'm looking at teams that are like feeling like they could be contenders, maybe one piece away from being a series contender. And I'm like, you want Jeremy Grant? Mm-hmm. And I'm going after another piece on the team. I'm looking at, let me see, who in the East could I trade Jeremy Grant to? Because it's almost just beneficial just to get him off the books by any means possible.
No, he got to go. I mean, he's not
getting paid that kind of cheese.
I don't think a guy like Jeremy Grant is worth the $100 million tag, but due to
160,
more closer to 200 if you round it out. But
right,
I don't know why Portland did that. Even if it was to keep Dame, I don't know why you would pay a guy like that much money. And Jeremy Grant never was all that good. I mean,
he had
was
his
cool.
best year.
Like Denver, he
individually,
was cool, but he was role player good. It wasn't like
he had his best year individually when he came to Detroit. Because when he came to Detroit, he started to have a really good box score every night, but it was always in losing efforts.
Yeah, but that's hollow numbers. I look at that as hollow numbers.
Exactly, but in this day and age, those are the things that gets players played that kind of contract.
Yeah, but Jeremy Grant just don't. To me, he don't command no 160 million, dog.
He ain't my cup of tea neither. But you know, I'm
160 million.
No, not at all.
Portland was bugging, but I mean they're very similar. We gonna transition to what now? The draft?
Well, I thought you wanted to do it in segments.
Huh? We are.
Okay.
But I'm gonna cut this out.
Gotcha.
But
okay, so the next thing on the list, we can review the draft, or you want to go based on what's been going on in the playoffs?
We can, whichever one, it don't matter. He thinks I'm drinking too much, so I'm coherent.
No.
I mean, like, he think I'm drinking too much.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't.
He was like, yo, I want you in your right state of mind. You know what I'm saying? I rap on the mic buzz, so it don't matter. I'm good.
Listen, look.
You know what I mean?
All I said was, I don't want.
Listen, I could hold my liquor. Now.
Hold up, now we gonna throw shots like that?
No, we
throwing shots.
No, we ain't throwing nothing. I'm just saying.
We throwing shots.
I'm good.
All right.
No, we just keep it.
I'm getting shot by my wife and my man.
No, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like that. Listen, it ain't like that. Look, we just do it in segments just because I'm just experimenting.
Okay.
This is an experiment. That's all. If it's not
shoot me for caring about the quality of the content.
Listen,
okay.
The quality is gonna be we good. You know
okay.
What I'm saying? But we gonna do it in segments.
Got you.
We gonna try stuff new here. F&S.
LA gonna win this one.
Huh? We can't hear you.
So we getting asked by Louisa if LA is gonna hold on to the lead. I hope so. But
Probably
I have no
not.
faith.
I hope they.
I have no faith in it.
Okay, are they gonna hold on to the lead in the fourth quarter?
That means win, right?
Well, how many minutes left in the third?
Let me see here.
You know what we should do? Hold on. We gonna head on. We be right back. All right, so we on our next segment. We back. You know what I'm saying? We had to take a little break, a little drink break, and all that. You know what I mean?
What it is.
You know, on the F&S Podcast, that's what we do here.
Had to mix some stuff up.
So this next segment, what is it called, Josh?
Pay it backwards?
Pretty much, are you obligated to take care of your relatives and friends if you obtain a certain amount of money, like a high amount of money, winning the lottery or getting drafted?
Specifically about the draft, because the draft just ended today.
Yep.
The NFL draft, that is. Detroit. And a whole lot of players is getting ready to get some of the biggest checks that they ever experienced in life, checks that can change their whole family's life.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's been kind of a thing, it's a good thing, where players that get drafted, they take care of the people that that are their family. You know,
really a good thing, Josh?
Well, look, I ain't gonna look down on anybody that buys their moms a house.
I'm not saying you look down on it.
Why are you buying your mother a house?
Well, obviously because you come from a background where, you know, your family is not as, I ain't gonna say they in necessarily need, but I will say that they don't have the comfortable circumstances that other people come from.
Okay, let's say this, right? Let me ask you this question. I get it, right?
Right. That's why it's called pay it back.
I get it. But so you constantly pay their bills. All their bills. While they functioning full-fledged adults. For the rest of their whole life.
I personally believe if any adult is capable of taking care of themselves, then that's what they should be doing.
All right.
But there's nothing wrong with you giving them a strong head start.
What if your mother or father came up to you and said, you owe me this? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be at the draft?
Is that a question for me specifically?
I mean, just, because there's so many young NFL prospects being drafted this year. What if your parents came and said, "Oh, you owe me. This is what I expect."
Well, that's why the segment is called "Pay It Backwards," because most of the time, in the ideal situation, anybody that takes on an amount of wealth, they view this as something that they can pass on to their kids.
Does everybody view it like that?
I said most.
Does most view it like that? Or is it just in the black community?
Non-Americans don't view it like that.
Non-Americans? So you mean like foreigners?
Yeah.
Americans. Most Americans that I come across, most Americans that we study about in books or something like that, I would say for the most part they view this as something that they can pass on to their kids.
How can you pass it on to your kids if you've given it to your parents?
Well, that's the point. Pay it backwards. When you
Not pay it forwards.
right, not paying it forward, you're paying it
When
backwards.
you want to give it to your kids,
That's what ends up happening. I mean, look at the Lakers. The Lakers is a perfect example. Mr. Buss, the one that was the owner of the Showtime Lakers, he passed it on to his daughter, Jeannie.
But was she putting in work to prove that she? I mean, I'm not saying that she's the greatest, but she wasn't just on her behind, just sitting there either. I don't think.
That could be true.
Because,
but was she qualified to have that job over other people?
Qualified, but that's a lot of this stuff is that goes into territory. Is not what you know, who you know, right? So that's a whole.
That's
different
always
subject.
been the case.
But the thing is it fair that you put in all the work, all the grind, and a lot of times family members don't even believe in what you're doing. They're saying you shouldn't be doing it.
And
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that you're wrong there, but what's one of the lines that we hear from a lot of athletes that take on the wealth that happen to have kids? I want them to have the life that I didn't. I want them to have a better.
Kids. Are we talking about other people? Like kids is.
But that's the whole point of paying it forward.
Your kids, not cousins.
Right. You put them in position. The whole idea is that your money puts them in position.
But you have issues to where you have these athletes going broke, giving their money away to their family.
Well, that's not the only reason.
They have nothing to pass down to their children.
That's not the only reason.
That's not the only reason.
That's not the only reason why they go
You got
broke.
these dudes tricking and all types.
There's so many different things that go in there.
But how many athletes have came out and said that they are taking care of people? They're taking care of their family.
Well, hold up now. See, now this is where each athlete has the responsibility of identifying who is worth it and who's not. Because you may have a lot of family members, but not every last one of them is deserving of it.
That's facts. My thing is this, right? A lot of people is opportunists. A lot of people like to take the shortcut, and then also a lot of people don't like to say this, but family can drag you down. Family can be your worst enemy. Family can be the biggest leeches more than strangers. And then family like to use this brainwashing mechanism of acting like you owe them because we share the same bloodstream and DNA.
Listen, look, at the end of the day, to go back to your question, parents that take care of their kids, that's doing the job that you inherited by having kids. That comes with the job.
Right.
That comes with the territory.
But does that mean? Listen, I didn't ask to be here. No, I didn't ask to be here.
that sounds ungrateful.
No, that's not ungrateful because no. Because if there's parents that do things like destroying kids' credit when they don't know and mess like that, putting things in child's name that they don't know, and then they go out into the world with bad credit already.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
What you say about that? That's terrible, right? Or to sit there and say, because if I wasn't put here, I don't know. But the thing is, if you handle your business, and that's a double-edged sword here. Okay, that's not ungrateful. But if the thing that I'm doing, you didn't believe in, you said I couldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, you were stupid for doing this, because parents do that. Parents can be very ruthless, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of parents out here that had kids by accident, and they take it out on the kids. Or the struggle of them having kids, they take it out on the kids, and then when their kids come out to be something, then they sit there and say, you owe me for me bringing you here. Which is unfair, you know what I'm saying? Because I have to take care of all your bad decisions, your bad money mismanagement, and things like that. That's not right. I don't think that's right.
No, it's not.
So I have to carry the brunt of all your bad decisions when I got my own family. So I got a wife and kids, but yet you sitting over here fully able. You not disabled. You have a husband too. Yet I'm supposed to take care of your lights, your car note, your groceries, and every other thing you running up, and I have to take care of it just because I earned this. You know what I mean? That's not right.
At the end of the day,
You don't have to take care of it.
No.
at the end of the day, every adult that's capable of taking care of themselves should take care of themselves.
Exactly.
But there's nothing wrong with an athlete that happens to take on a lot of money, helping out to give people a somewhat of a head start.
It's one thing helping out. It's another thing taking care of people's responsibility.
Yeah, if you're helping out, you're just showing your appreciation.
Like, my thing is, I will give a lump sum, like, look here, I'm going to give you this to jumpstart you.
See, my thing is, when you give money to people, they start viewing you as a bank.
That's what I'm saying.
And so that's why I wouldn't give money to people. I would just...
But you already said you were giving money to your cousins.
No. I said this. I said that I will pay your way through school.
Right.
I'm not giving you the money directly. I'm paying your way through school for you to learn a trade, for you to learn a way to get on your own feet to take care of yourself.
Now, I agree with that. It's different paying for an opportunity. I will pay for you to obtain your own money, but I'm not about to
But
pay.
they can do that by themselves with student loans.
No. See, because student loans is a whole nother animal.
You can get put on lifetime. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't look. If you really gonna go to school and handle your business, and if I'm getting multi-millions, I'll pay that. As long as you show me that you actually serious.
Why?
Huh?
Why? If you say that they're fully capable of taking care of themselves, why are you
Fully capable means that they have all their faculties.
Right.
Meaning that they got a brain that operates at a normal rate.
So if they're going to school, they
Their
have all
body
the faculties,
operates
so
at a
why
normal
are you
rate.
funding them to go to school.
No. Andrea, listen. Hold on, man. Why do we gotta do this every time?
No, this is good. Break it down. This is good. We need to break it down.
Check this out, Andrea. Listen. That's like me sitting there, for instance, like, oh, I'm a driver. If I got a cousin or something that's trying, and I just gotta get in trouble, I'll pay for that. I'm not gonna pay for the whole thing, or whatever you're doing that first. I'm gonna pay for you to go to school, handle your business, and then get you a job to where you can obtain your own money. I will pay to help you get over the fence. You know what I'm saying? I will boost you over the fence. I'll boost you over the fence. I'm not gonna pay all your life expenses. You still gotta handle your business.
But I'm saying, if you weren't around, guess what they would have to do? Figure it out.
Listen,
But that's the whole point.
But then that means I just shouldn't
Which
pay them.
means that they're capable of taking care of
So let me ask
themselves.
you a question.
No. See, but
Go ahead.
what you as an athlete being able to inherit all that money does is that you help save them time.
Right.
Because for people to get themselves out of a hole, that can take years
Right.
That's
and
called life.
some decades.
So Andrea, let me ask you this question.
I can cut a check that can just put you right there while you're still in your 20s.
So let me ask you a question, Dre. So if you won, let's say if you won a lottery, Powerball, and Dre won 90 million, you gonna probably get 30 off taxes because they gonna come take all that. So
Right.
30 million, right?
Okay.
Would you make sure your parents are straight?
Yes, that's it.
That's it.
But that's paying it backwards. Your parents are straight.
Now,
But my parents took care of me, so I'm showing my appreciation.
right,
I wouldn't
correct.
say
So
necessarily
your
needed
parents,
it.
now let's say this: your parents took care of you. Have your parents ever violated you and made you feel like this?
No.
Okay, then, so that's a different situation. But about the parents who sit there and tell when there's parents out here, let's be serious. There's parents out here who I'm trying to keep this.
This is F&S.
I'm trying to keep this clean and respectful. There's some parents out here who had kids by literal accident, and they treat their kids like accidents. They
Yes.
treat them like accidents.
And I don't feel like you should have to owe them anything.
Know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm asking. They treat them like accidents, and then when you try to do something like, for instance, I grew up with kids, in middle school and high school that's talented, play football, they cold, but their parents like, you can't do that. What makes you think you can do that? That's stupid. You should never do that. You should go work in the factory or the warehouse because that's what we supposed. Now, you pretty much defecating on their dreams and goals and all that, telling them they can't do something. Then the points they give you didn't support none of this. They had to go do what they had to do, work a job to pay for their equipment, cleats, and all that type of stuff to handle their business. Now, all of a sudden, once they actually get to that point, now you want to say, oh, you know what I mean? So I should take care of you now when you pretty much defecated on me all the way from middle school to high school, and you pretty much told me I was an accident all the way through there,
Yeah,
and then
no, I
treated
don't
me like
agree with
garbage.
that. I don't agree with you feeling obligated to show your appreciation in air quotes because you're not really appreciating because they didn't appreciate you.
Now, if my parents are disabled,
This is different for every situation.
right? Everybody's stuff because I
But if
told my
you
mom
want to give them money out the goodness of your heart, then whatever.
a lot of times.
That's why I wouldn't give them money. The moment you give somebody money, they view you as a bank.
Yep.
No.
So what are you giving your parents that didn't believe in you and didn't care nothing about you? Are you giving them anything?
Nothing.
You giving them nothing?
Man,
So
listen,
me
like,
personally, the person that I am, I'll still give them something because at the end of the day, for me to become in existence in this world, I had to come through her legs.
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. I'm not about to sit there and take care of all your finances, man.
I'll buy you a car.
I'm not taking care of your finances. That's unfair.
So what are you doing?
I'll buy you a car.
I'll give you a lump. Listen,
I'll buy you a car. I'll buy you a car, paid off.
I'll say this. This is some real stuff. Let's say if I played a lottery ticket. Oh, $30 million. You know what I'm saying? I'll give my mother $1 million. Straight million. You're not disabled. You're not messed up. You're still young. You can handle your business. I'm gonna give you this $1 million to clear whatever debt you got. Start up whatever you want to start up. And throw some money in the bank to where you can have interest. And there it is right there. I'm not about to sit there and take care of all of your expenses and because that's not right. And then
It's either that I'll either buy a house. Buy a car brand new, or this your crib. This is where you want to stay. I'll pay it off. This way you ain't got them kind of bills over your head. But giving people money straight up like that, it's a bad idea.
It's terrible.
That's a bad
What about
idea.
your siblings?
Oh. Woo!
Well, that's coming from somebody that ain't got none.
Woo!
That's coming from somebody that
The only
ain't got
people
no
that's getting
shit.
money from me is my parents.
Woo! Hey, look, I don't listen, and I think we on the same like there's certain people I would like. Look, if I have a good relationship with you and we was always tight no matter what, thick and thin?
Yeah.
Yes, but if you all of a sudden call nah, we ain't doing that. Now, if we always been tight through everything. Like, I only got a couple friends on my hands that I can say that's my people. You know what I'm saying? Do no matter what. Them the people, if they call me, I'm there. If you need something, I'm there. Because they never call. But if I don't never talk to you, I call you, I can never reach you. You don't call me to check on me and nothing. Nothing. And then all of a sudden, I get drafted, win the lottery, cause, brother, kick rocks. You not, what is this? Nah, just because you share the same DNA,
that means absolutely
you can't
nothing.
choose your family. Friends can be more family. Family is different from relatives. Family is different from relatives. You know what I'm saying? You can go through the trenches with your friend, and that's family more so than a relative. A relative just means we share the same DNA to a degree. And half the time, that's watered down.
So, as far as siblings, it would depend on the type of relationship.
Would you not agree?
But that's the same thing with parents.
Would you exactly? That's
Same thing with parents. It's every single person individual.
that applies with anybody, like everybody, because you know if somebody taking advantage of you, and that brainwashing thing, because people use family can operate like a cult in a sense. Brainwashing. I told my mom something the other day. I'm like, when you hit a certain age, you realize you was lied to your whole life.
As if you can put the pieces together.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but
If
you
you can put the
realize
pieces
you was
together.
lied to. A lot of brainwashing going on. A lot of lies. And then once you get to a certain point, you realize you was lied to the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so my question is this. We had the NFL draft here in Detroit.
Midwest.
Should these now instant millionaires change their numbers?
Yes.
Should that be something automatic?
Oh, the only people you should be taking care of, or is the ones who was there for you the whole time.
Taken care of, though.
I don't mean, you know what I mean. Showing them love.
I don't feel like anyone like Josh, I don't think any grown adult should take care of
You know what I
any
mean?
other grown
You
adult.
know what I mean by that. I'm just saying, like, the only ones who really show support and through the journey and never treated you differently whether you had money or not. The ones who always just appreciate it, just like you appreciate them, they appreciate you just for y'all being close. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only a handful of people out. If somebody called my phone, it's only a handful.
I feel like if you haven't called my phone before when I ain't have nothing, then don't expect nothing afterwards.
Exactly. And that's the point, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is leeches. A lot of people like to take the shortcut. A lot of people like to get over on folks, and they use the family.
Cause you gotta understand these players, they worked hard.
And that's my point.
You know, they worked their butts off to get to where they're at. And the people who got their hands out ain't had to do nothing.
Nothing. Like, all those football is a very hard, all sports is hard. All that hard work and grinding and luck to get there, a lot of these people just sitting on the couch chilling.
So why are you holding your hands out in expectations?
Josh?
Your answer, you know that just as much as I do. People just want money so they can be able to live the life.
A lot. I
mean, not only just the money, they want the association, they want to hang, they want the lifestyle. Think about how many family, quote unquote, groupies these players have.
I was
going with them to the games and stuff, like sitting courtside and going with them to the games.
I was listening
it's the
to
lifestyle.
I was listening to Marcellus Wiley. What was it, probably like a month and a half ago or something, and he was talking about folks in his circle, right? And listen, nobody's perfect, right? So if people turn into yes men, and you don't want yes men around you. And a lot of times these people turn to yes men just so they feel like you will take care of it, or whatever the case is.
They don't want to disrupt the flow,
right,
of the money.
He like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see me like drifting, you supposed to pull me back. You know what I'm saying? Because people are imperfect. You know what I'm saying? If you my friend, or if you my people for real, and if you see me, hey, pull me back. You know what I'm saying? But don't be a yes man.
But people feel threatened.
Yeah, don't be a yes man just because you feel like the bank don't stop.
Because they feel because some people are scared of telling the certain person no about a certain thing.
Right.
Because then they feel like they're gonna get cut off.
Right. That's like if Joshua, I'm like, yo, you probably shouldn't do that. As a homie, you shouldn't do that. Bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Whether he get upset or not, he get over himself. You know what I'm saying? And realize, hey, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? You pull me back. You know what I'm saying? Because initially, you ain't gonna like initially, it's gonna be a conflict. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yo, man, chill. Listen, you don't want to do that. Bad idea. Chill. Just come on this way so we ain't, you know what I mean?
See, but the thing is, you got that aspect involved in it, and then you got the battle of the other people pulling the person the other direction.
Right, but the other people don't care about the person either, though.
But at that point in time, some of these athletes, they allow themselves to get attached to certain new faces, and they start viewing that in a way to where, like, you're not the one that really cares about me because you don't want me to have this. You're just mad because I have all of this, that, and the other.
And that's the imperfection of people.
Is there any point of time where you would feel the need to cut your parents off if you were in these player situations?
You went straight to the parents, huh?
Once again,
because they're going to be the closest ones to you, and they are going to be the ones that are probably going to get the most out of you financially.
I'm gonna say this before I pass over, Josh.
Go ahead.
You know how like animals automatically have like an unconditional love to their parents like out the womb? It's like a nature thing. So that's gonna be the toughest situation. The parents. And then, you know, mothers pull the trump card like, I birthed you. You know what I'm saying? I birthed you. If it wasn't for me, you know, but they try to use that as a mask for all their bad decisions. Right? Because once you grow up and realize, just because you my parents, that don't mean you make all the right decisions. You imperfect like everybody else. And when you a child and when your parents teach you, you in the mindset that they perfect and they make no wrong decisions because they teaching you. But when you grow up and realize, like, hold on, you made a bunch of wrong decisions. Everything you told me wasn't right and correct. You know what I'm saying? And so now you take that to the point of financial decisions, irresponsible decisions. And now you're making all these irresponsible decisions and you want me to come in and clean it up because you feel like I got it. Is that right?
Y'all ever seen the movie The Waterboy?
Waterboy.
Absolutely. With Adam Sandler.
Waterboy with Adam Sandler. When he was a football player. And he was like this crazy.
Didn't Kathy Bates play his mother? Or
I forget who the actress's name. I'm not good with actors' names.
I don't think you know.
Well, anyway, that kind of speaks to this what we're talking about right here. Because The Waterboy, the movie was based off a country kid that can barely talk right, that can barely function in society right, but he was able to tap into an ability to become a very good football player. But when he went to college and he started to experience what the school was teaching him about some basic things, his whole thing was, mama said this da 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 da, or mama said this da 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 da, and this college professor was like, mama's wrong. This is what happened. This is what it is. So that's kind of that's what popped into my head when y'all was saying what y'all was saying, because it is true. As a kid, you do believe that your parents have a certain validity on everything that they say, just because they the ones that birthed you and they raised you, and these are the adults that you spend most of your time with in most cases. But you really can't know how factual a person is until you experience the world around. And then you start to learn, oh, this math ain't mathing.
Would you say it's unfair in a certain degree that the bad things that or the lack of proper parenting or the bad things and the brainwashing that happens when it comes to kids to when they transition to adulthood hurt them?
So it leads me to this question. Should kids take care of their parents when they become adults? And I mean financially. Only if they're literally not able
to do so.
Only if is it their obligation?
If they capable of doing it?
It depends the parents.
If the parents say you supposed to take care.
No, I ain't obligated to do nothing if you tell me that. Like, because I'm not obligated to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no obligation. Honestly, at the end of the day, especially if you functioning and you're able to handle your own business, especially if I have my own family, because the whole objective is for me to get out your house and have my own family and kid. I have my own family.
Well, especially if your parents have made financial errors that they're not trying to correct. And they just say, oh, my kid's going to take care of it.
Listen, at the end of the day, and this is the hard truth, and people don't like to accept. A child don't ask to be here.
And I think it's a cultural thing. Now let's talk about that.
Culturally in our community,
there are certain cultures that parents, especially here in America, because we're such a melting pot. Why is there certain cultures where parents expect their children to clean up their messes and take care of them, but then you see other cultures where their parents are leaving their children avenues to be able to pass on.
In certain cultures, I told you
their assets.
I told you I've seen this in certain cultures. When I deliver gas stations and stuff like that, they had their kids working, showing them the way. So you don't have to depend on me. You know what I'm saying? You gonna already, once you graduate, you already gonna have everything set up for you. You already know what you gotta handle your business to do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's not necessarily implemented in the urban community like that.
Like, can we just say it?
Black community?
Just say it.
I'm just saying.
Thank you.
I mean, black is still urban. You know what I'm saying? So
no,
it's like,
I mean, but people ain't gonna. Well,
yeah, I'm just saying it's not implemented there. You know, because you don't see that. Like, other cultures, you see the parents is teaching they prepping their kids for life when they get older.
Well, because they're passing down their business.
They're prepping their kids for life.
Yeah, they're passing.
You don't
down
see that in the
legacy,
urban community like that.
Yes.
Their whole job is prepping them for life. I told you I used to hang.
They don't have assets to pass down. They're struggling their whole life. Then they bring their kids into the world where they continue to struggle.
But even if you don't have assets, right? Because that's not all. You still should. You don't want to be like me. You don't want to end up like me. So you need to be, you know what I'm saying, doing this, that, and the third. You don't want to end up like me.
Yeah, but
that's that crabs in the barrel mentality.
They may say that, but it's still with the expectation that you're gonna take care of me when you get older.
That's not all. That's. There's nothing ever 100%. But majority, you right.
How many people have come up to you or me and said, "Oh, how come y'all don't have kids? Who gonna take care of y'all when y'all get older?"
I mean, that's the.
Why is that the expectation?
But listen, that's the system being taught. Don't y'all speak about the system?
Y'all.
No, I'm serious.
Well, listen.
There's a system.
Well, listen. Look.
I don't mean y'all in a disrespectful form. I mean, for real, listen. It's the system that's being taught. It's a systematic thing here.
Well, look. The normal thing that was meant to be in life is that when a man and woman get together and get married, one of the normal things that normally comes about with that is that they start to have their own family, meaning that they have their own kids. That's the normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for the people that choose not to have kids, there's nothing wrong with that.
But when you say it's a system, when you say it's a messed up system that's being implemented here,
that you're expected to
yes,
have kids,
it's a systematic situation going on here.
I mean, look, that's just one of the things that we can point to that's wrong with it.
It's a big old. It's a tier system here. Like, I don't want to dig off deep into this system stuff here, but the people are brainwashed out here, and that's just the bottom line. There's a lot of brainwashing going on.
The whole point is
that also came with, I feel like, the American dream, where you gotta have, a house with the picket fence.
That's the system.
Right, the 2.2 kids.
That's
and all that stuff.
they put a certain standard on success, and if you don't reach this standard, then you're not viewed as successful.
Growing up, they teach you that through
Right.
kindergarten, grade school, middle school, high school. The whole thing is picket fence, the dog, and a couple kids. But once you grow up and realize that's all lies, that's all lies.
Because, well,
Yes, they make it very hard to achieve that dream and
That,
not be
without being in debt.
$100,000 in debt.
You're right, exactly.
it's not a realistic dream.
That's
for
all
everybody.
lies.
Not everybody wants that type of responsibility, and then they demonize you for not wanting that, or they call you lazy.
Well, see,
No, I've definitely been called that, but because I don't want. Oh, I've been called all type of. Listen, I done had. Listen, you know what I mean? I done had all type of names thrown my way because I don't want no kids, and the type of rules I would have in my house if I have kids, because we ain't gonna go back into that.
that's part of the problem, though.
What?
The system that exists in place makes it hard for people to have kids, to even raise kids successfully.
At the end of the day, if I had a child or kids, my whole mission is to make sure you able to succeed without me. By the time you are in my house, you're gonna be able to function. You're gonna make mistakes.
And that-
But you're not gonna come to me and be like, oh, you gonna know it all. So I'm not gonna be a favorable parent. You know what I'm saying?
And in today's society, how many kids are actually being able to do that? We see so many kids having to move back home.
Well, see, that's where I was going to go with.
Would you accept your child if they're like, oh man, I couldn't do this or that? Can I come back home for a few months? Are you
But
taking
sometimes things happen.
Okay.
Things happen.
But that was leaking into the other thing, because a lot of families in the black culture feel like, especially for boys, once you turn 18, you out, because I'm not taking care of no grown man. It's not like that in every culture, but in the black culture that I've seen, a lot of families have that feeling with black males. Once you turn 18,
And that also means, since you say that to me, if I came up across $30 million, I'm not taking care of no grown adult either.
So how do we feel about that?
I ain't taking care of no grown man. I ain't taking care of no, you know what I mean? So I guess we even.
Listen, are we okay with the thought that just because you happen to be a male, once you turn 18, you obligated to have to get out and figure it out on your own?
That's a whole different discussion.
That is a whole different discussion, but this is the F&S.
So my question is, do you owe?
We can definitely get into it.
Do you owe your parents just because they raised you and took care of you?
You owe them something.
You
owe them something.
Like I told you when I seen my father, right? When I met my father, which bothered me a little bit. That hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I have traits of my father, right? If it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't like music the way I do, and I wouldn't have the brain, the creative type of tendencies. I mean, genes is genes. Like, one thing about genes, you can't change genes, you can't change your parents, right? I have traits in my father, I have traits in my mother. I appreciate the traits of my father, I appreciate traits of my mother. So in that aspect, you know what I'm saying? I'm always appreciative of that. Even though I don't know my father, I appreciate certain aspects.
So your father didn't raise you. So if you came into 30 million, are you giving your father anything? Okay.
No.
But you appreciate the genes.
Listen, I say this about my father, right? I appreciate he went in and out. Either you in or you out. Don't play with me like my emotions like that. You know what I'm saying? Either you in or you out. But that's a discussion for another day, because growing up, you see you start understanding certain things. Like, when you become an adult, you look back on certain things in your childhood, and you understand certain things. Like, oh,
that's the reason why that happened.
Right. You understand certain things. Like, oh, okay.
And then the other thing too that exists is that, unfortunately, because this is an issue that for certain fathers, they've been painted a wrong way when that really wasn't the case.
Exactly.
Because there is a such thing as mothers keeping their kids away from their father.
They do that. They do that.
That's a thing that exists.
They do that. They make it real different. And I'll say this: I'm glad I don't have children. If me and Lewis had kids, right? If me and Lewis had kids, she was making it difficult to see my kid off. I'm saying, look. Excuse me? Give her the mic. Can you say something? Hell no, grip the mic. Hold on, let's talk about
kids.
Listen, if we had kids and she making it difficult, I would say this. Look, I'm gonna tell the kid what's up. Your mother's making it difficult. Why I can't see you? Huh?
But that's kind of.
Yes, I am gonna tell him that. I'm going to. No, hey.
When they get old enough to understand
you're
certain
not gonna
things,
paint me as the bad guy here, because a lot of times the courts and all that stuff,
it works in the female's favor.
listen, a female could be a dope fiend, or don't have none of her stuff together, and the father can have everything together. And what the courts do, we're gonna give custody to the mother, and then you're gonna have to pay this. You know what I'm saying? When the mother's the unfit parent here.
Yeah, but should the kid be put in the middle of that, though?
No, you're not about to play me.
Well, that's the whole point of going to court.
That's the brainwashing system.
That's the whole point of taking it to court.
The father is always the bad guy. No?
First of all, every parent, mother, father, whether you choose to stay together or not, every mother or father should do their part in taking care of their child.
Listen, you need both parents. Because fathers, for the most part.
And believe it or not, kids need to see their parents together.
Yes.
Successfully functioning as a unit together.
Exactly. You don't need different men popping up in the house. You know what I'm saying? It's more optimal if you have your actual parents. That's both. Both. We ain't see. Listen, why you gotta? Man, it's all. Listen, you know exactly what I'm saying here. But just like you said, you shouldn't throw kids in. You shouldn't be sitting there trying to brainwash the kid to make it like the father is the bad guy here. You know what I'm saying? Just
while at the same time,
like, that's crazy.
But then this, like, we have the whole child support thing, right? The whole child support thing, right? Like, I sent y'all the video the other day.
Yeah. That lady in court?
That lady in court, right? Like, you know, child support, the theory behind it is good. But the execution behind it, in some cases, is very bad.
Child support should be titled what it is. Child support. Not paying your bill support. Not funding your lifestyle support. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think I ever like child support. Like what?
So
child support? Like I mean, like because 9 times out of 10. So what? I say this: if the mother is single, right? Single with the kids. What happens if she get a new man and he living in that house? And he reaping the benefits of my child support.
How is he reaping the benefits? And how
because
would you know that?
Okay, so let's just paint a picture here. Okay? Some mothers get thousands of dollars per month to take care of a child. Thousands of dollars, not hundreds, thousands. And sometimes that thousands is well over the amount that it actually takes to take care of a child.
The question is, how much does it really take?
So wouldn't it be?
Does that
matter?
Should make it right?
Should that matter?
That don't make it right.
Wait, wouldn't that be a case by case basis?
Right, but say for instance, right?
That's
Say for
case
hold
by
on.
case.
But you know what? But you.
Hold on, wait a second.
Well, hold up. Things would change if there wasn't no battle for the husband to see his child.
Facts. So, this is the thing. Say I'm some top wide receiver, Detroit Lions, number 88, Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
That's your favorite number or something? 88?
Yeah, number 88 as a wide receiver. Number 88, Hall of Fame, making millions. Only one kid. One. Not 3, 1. We just didn't happen to work out, but they demanded I pay $50,000 a month in child support. 50. She's gonna have a new man. She's going to have a new man. She's gonna have a new man. They gonna be intimate, doing all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, she's going to be. She don't even need to 50 bands a month. She don't even need to work. Huh? Word up. So that's the listen. I will lose. Listen,
And that damages the child.
Man, listen.
Because he grows up viewing that as a normal situation. And so now, being faithful to one woman individually is not an obligation.
Dog, listen. Huh?
You questioning that?
How did we go to child support to being faithful to one woman?
Well, I'm talking about the damage that is done to the child. Because now he grows up with that situation that Matt painted. Mm-hmm. He grows up in a situation with a stepfather.
Right?
Possibly, if he's even married. Mm-hmm. But he's going to view him as a stepfather.
Right.
So now it's normal for me or for somebody to have kids and we don't work out fine. Bam. We can both have 2 different people in our lives, even if we have kids. It's not that big of a deal because that's what happened to me. I was all right. I turned out okay. My kids should be fine. Me and his mother didn't work out. Same thing that happened to me.
Did you really turn out okay?
But that's the point. That's the point. That's the whole point.
What's the point?
Back to what I said earlier. Kids need to see their mother and father together.
At the end of the day, all this, there's no perfect situation. No, there is no perfect situation because everybody's imperfect. So it's impossible to have a perfect situation.
But if you have a mother and a father who loved you, took care of you, took care of the responsibilities, I mean, that's a pretty good situation.
No, it's like you said, but you didn't say perfect.
No, it's not perfect.
There's no one perfect.
You're coming
There,
from imperfect.
everybody's imperfect, so people's gonna make mistakes.
But your ideal situation, I guess, is what you would say.
Right? People run away, like in the urban black community here. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this, right? I'll say this. Growing up, seeing certain things, I've seen other ethnicities have problems, but they hide that from the child and they stay together for the sake of the child because we create this responsibility together. So we have to deal with this together.
Right.
We decided to do what we had to do unprotected, and we had this child together. So
And
it's
just
bigger,
to be clear, that happens in every culture.
it's bigger than both of us. It's not just me. It's not just you. So we gotta to make sure that's kids is a lifetime responsibility. It's not just part-time. It's lifetime. You bring a life into the world, that's both of our responsibilities for a lifetime because things happen. You know what I'm saying? Your kid could be 35, 40 years old. What you gonna say? Oh, they in the hospital. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? They grown. No, you gonna run to them like they 5 years old. That's a lifetime responsibility. So we in this together. Now, when they get, so you gotta be careful who you have a kid with in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not one to make excuses for people who have kids by accident, quote unquote, because a lot of contraceptives on both ends. A guy can use or whatever he gotta use and to not have kids. You know what I'm saying? But if you step into them waters to the possibility of having kids, you have to take care of the responsibility that comes with that and can't run from it. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
That makes me think of the J. Cole song.
Nah, dog, you have to have, look, man, if you have kids with something like, dog, you have to, because it's not about y'all no more. It's about the kid.
Right.
Y'all parents now. It's not about y'all no more.
Your dreams is put on hold for at least 18 years.
It's about the kid.
At least 18 years, your dreams is put on hold.
Raising the kid is serious business. And if you don't raise them right, that bites you in the behind.
That bites you in the behind.
When they not functioning in the world, you know what I'm saying?
And then they come out breeding the same kind of situation, the same kind of thinking.
Yeah, listen, they end up having kids out of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then now you got grandkids. No, it messes you up worse than it's a lifetime of, you know what I'm saying? How many grandparents you see take care of their kids? Exactly. That's not fair to the grandparents.
No.
That's not fair. They retired and have to take care of your kids.
Right.
So that goes
That's not.
So that goes into being drafted and getting paid, and you show me the way. Now I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, do my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now all of a sudden I gotta pay all of your bills, and all of a sudden now, wow, really?
That's why I said I'm not giving nobody money.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not
wow,
giving nobody
man.
money. I'm paying for somebody.
I'm not constantly paying nobody's bills.
I'm paying for somebody to have an easier life.
That's a one-time fee. Listen,
That's a one-time check. Think about it.
what's the highest?
Think about it.
What's the
Think
highest
about
you
it.
ever? Have you ever heard of $1 million student loan?
First of all, hold up. First of all, a first-round pick football player that's drafted in the top 5, I'm gonna say. I haven't done my research on this lately, but this is what it used to be, so it's probably a bigger number now. A first-round pick drafted in the top 5, maybe top 10, is guaranteed at least 25 mil. At least 25 mil. If I pay for you a car, brand new, it doesn't have to be a Mercedes. It doesn't have to be a Lamborghini. It doesn't have to be none of that. If I pay for you a brand new car, let's just say it's a Chevy whatever, $15,000. I mean, or $50,000.
It wouldn't even be that. It wouldn't be that. No.
No, I'm not giving them the dollars to spend on what they want. I'm giving them the means to get to point A to point B.
Paying school loans is good enough.
Right.
Look, because the most I've heard of school loans is being like 300 bands. It's probably more. But I've never heard of $1 million. So I will pay your school. Look, if it helps you navigate, I'll pay your school loans. You take that whole debt away, you should be able to handle your business at that point.
Right.
With your degree and all that. You should be able to handle your business. Yeah,
But that's the whole point of the question.
That's like somebody pulling you into a job.
That's the whole point of the
That's
question.
like somebody pulling you into a job. Oh man, I know them, so I can basically skip the whole interview process and just pull me on in. I'm qualified to handle it, but I don't gotta go through that. That's fine. I don't mind helping nobody like that because it happens like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You know somebody that can pull you in, but you can still execute. So if I know you can execute, you trying to handle your business, this is just hindering you, fine. You pay these school loans off. You on your way.
So how many people are you doing that for?
I just said it's a handful.
Not everybody deserves it.
Like 5 fingers.
Not everybody deserves it.
Now you have said
Yes.
that you would do,
Depending on the family member.
you would do cousins.
Yes, because for me, in my personal situation, I grew up close to a number of my cousins.
Yeah, but are you still close to them now?
I'm not as close to them now as I was before growing up, but that doesn't change the fact of what was. Like, if they called me, we can still chop it up and have a conversation like we didn't spend so much time separated. We can have a conversation, catch up, and everything still be good because we already built the foundation. You're right, people do change. But while I'm not in the picture and I don't know about that, I can't judge them based off of, oh, well, maybe they changed to be a bad person.
No, I'm not saying they're changing for the bad. I'm just saying, like, your relationship is not the same, so your obligation that you maybe felt when you were smaller, when you were close, it might not be that same. It doesn't have to be that same obligation.
Well, like I said, that's me. That's me. If I sign a contract like one of these top draft picks is getting paid millions of dollars, and I got the bread to be able to be like, okay, things ain't working out for you in life the way you panned out. Let me pay for you to study your way something else so you can try something else.
Like he said, it's all dependent on who it is because there's people that really work hard that just can't catch a break. Now, and they won't ask you for nothing. They won't ask you. They'd rather sink than ask. Them the ones I'm more so keen on doing that for. Like, look, man, you got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it back. Here. Because you trying to handle your business. Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a break or something. Everybody be given a break. Even like, for instance, people who make it to NFL, they got a break. Somebody had to choose them to come along. You can't just become drafted without them choosing you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you get hired somewhere, they have to choose you. You know what I mean? To come along. You know, you get signed to a label, they gotta choose you to come along. So it gotta be due to somebody else. You didn't got to a certain point, right? So I have no problem helping a close friend. A close friend can be family. You know, I have no problem helping family because relatives and family is different. I have no problem helping family who's really just trying to handle their business, and it's just they just can't catch a break. I have no problem doing that.
Right.
Because they wouldn't ask me no way, and it hurts them to ask. And I'm like, look, it's all good. I don't want it back. We don't even gotta speak of this no more.
Right.
I'll just slide you this. We ain't never gotta speak of this again.
When I give somebody something, I'm not giving them with the expectation, oh yeah, they're gonna give me this back.
Right. And I'm not throwing it in your face.
No.
Because there's people that'll give you things.
Remind you about that every single time.
And throw it in your face just for an ego boost.
Don't forget, did you remember the time I did that?
I will never give somebody something as an ego boost. It'll literally just be from the kindness. So if I sit there and give somebody something, it'll be for the kindness. And it'll be just literally because I want to help.
My thing is, I'm not going to contribute to a bad habit.
No.
Especially if I know about it. I'm not going to contribute to a bad habit. If you known for using your money to go purchase things that is not good for you, and that have contributed to the reason why you where you at in life right now, I'm not giving you anything because I'm not contributing to your bad habit. And like I said, I'm not giving anybody money. I'm not giving anybody money. My money is paying for something. So I'm not giving you the straight dollars. I'm not giving you the straight dollars. I'm gonna be like, oh, your car messed up. Let's go to the dealership. I'm gonna go pick one.
Andrea said, I'm only giving parents. That's it.
But she don't got no siblings, so she's coming from a whole different perspective.
She like, yo, I ain't giving nobody nothing. I mean, but I'm more so on your side with that aspect. I'm just more so like, I'm not close to that many people. So
but the same thing is, once you get paid a certain amount of dollars, how much do you really need?
That's why these people be having schools and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why people create schools and all that type of stuff, because they just trying to, you know.
I'm just saying, like, I don't give my parents something because I appreciate what they did.
That's
Right.
no doubt.
Siblings did for me.
If somebody gave you 25, like if you, let's just go with that number, 25 million. Could you spend 25 million on things that you're like?
Now you asking me personally, or you just asking the average person? Because me personally, a person can blow 25 million in a month.
No. I'm talking about like for you to pay for your necessities in life and to get some of the things that you want in life.
I would say this.
Is 25 million necessary to do that?
I would say this. A lot of people personality or a lot of people's real ways is based off their money. You would know how somebody really is once you give some money to them. If you look at somebody when they get their income tax, you'll see their personality come out real quick. You know what I'm saying? So, me at this point in my life right now, I only care about my electronics and music. I don't want no big mansion house. None. So me, no. But maybe in my 20s, I'll blow that junk in a month, dog.
Of course we can just blow it because we can come up with reasons to spend money.
Bro, you gonna get a crib. Like, you gotta think about it like this.
We come up with reasons to spend money. My thing is, any person with a sound mind.
Now at this point, no, I will not. I will sit that thing in the bank.
25 million. Like,
dog, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I will buy a regular normal house and put that in the bank, and I just want to just retire and just travel. Like, that's all I want to do. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Though.
That's the thing. Okay, so let's go on the high side, right? A house costs on the high side $500,000.
Yeah. I mean,
$500,000 to buy a house. And that house is decked out.
500. I thought it'd be more than that. Ain't like 8. Like 8.
No. Oh,
Average house is like $400,000.
but that's what I'm saying.
Cause some of the
I'm talking about-
like 1.2.
Okay, but what's the size of those homes? How many bedrooms? How many
They be
bathrooms?
regular, don't they? Regular crib, 1.2. You know what I'm saying? It's all location based.
Depending on okay, so
So
you don't have to live in New York.
So-
You don't have to live in LA.
Let's say
Say you live in Michigan.
Michigan.
Say you living in
Those
Michigan.
houses that be.
Listen,
like-
look.
Like
I passed by a neighborhood, all brand new built homes. Three stories if you include the basement. Starting at $400,000.
where?
Over in what is that? Chelsea Dexter
Chelsea?
area. Chelsea Dexter area.
And that's just the basic stuff, right? That's without upgrades, right?
Well, these are brand new homes.
Because if you want to put,
It depends.
you want to
because-
throw upgrades in there, you about to be probably spending like, I say 6.
Well, that
So you
depends.
go- you
That
got-
depends.
If you get a regular house,
Because you don't need $1 million home.
no, you don't. I agree. I said so. I said I get a regular house.
Right. Because
Yeah.
if it's just you and your wife, what size house do you need?
But you also gotta think about this. When you make, if you got that much money, people don't know how to shut up. So I mean, you gotta be protected as well.
Right.
So you can't really live in an open area if you make that much money because there's always gonna be some cats lurking trying to, you know what I mean?
But that's part of the reason why investing in security systems.
Security systems don't always work.
No, you're right. You're right.
Like,
No, but you're right
they
about
just
that.
don't get you quick enough. You break in, you know the police, the alarm gotta go off and they gotta get prepared and they come to you. Things
I hear
happen
what
in
you're
20
saying.
seconds.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right about that. And I'm not saying that you have to live in a new built neighborhood or anything like that. Because you can buy land and build your house from scratch.
Perfect. That's the best optimal way.
And that's cheaper than building a home in a new built community.
That's the best optimal way, honestly, just getting some land and putting the house there. You know what I'm saying? That way you can kind of keep an eye on. But that, look.
At the end of the day, we still not crossing $1 million here.
But see, the problem with people is
Do you have to have a parking lot of cars?
people seek approval from, let's call this what it is. You seeking approval from cats that don't even care about you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But therein the problem lies.
You seeking approval from people. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a lot of people got egos. They very egotistical and they seeking approval and trying to show off and don't nobody care about what you got.
Right.
So if I'm at this point in time in my life and my age and what I know and what I wouldn't tell nobody what I got at all.
Exactly.
I would, if I won the lottery or somehow came across that much amount of money, you know, I'll put it up in the bank, buy a house, a regular house, I don't want no man. First of all, a mansion would creep me out. Keep it real with you. I don't want no mansion. Regular crib, normal house.
Right.
And travel.
But what's a normal house? A
Whatever I
3-2?
need. If it was me and my wife, right?
A 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom?
We got the regular house, the regular room. She got her office space. I got my man cave. That's 3 rooms.
3-bedroom.
Yeah, 3 bedrooms.
3-bedroom.
Maybe if it's
No guest room?
no, maybe if we had company over like that, 4-bedroom guest room.
Okay.
Or that'd be a basement or something. You know what I'm saying? So the guest room.
That's those houses that I pass by.
Yeah. So you can have a 3-bedroom in the basement and the guest room could be the basement.
And that's those houses that I pass by. That whole community that has them for $400,000. There's some community that's like that they'll go up another 100,000 based on where you at.
Would y'all have an issue like if we had a 3-bedroom and we like, oh, the guest room in the basement? Would y'all have a problem with that if y'all came through?
I personally wouldn't.
Of course. Bathroom, all that, shower, everything. Feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that would be the guest joint. It'd be like a little, almost like a, because my homeboy, when I played basketball, I used to go to I stayed at his house on, we had Sunday games. I stayed at Saturday. His basement was set up like you could say it was like an apartment. Almost. He had the kitchen, had the bathroom, he had the room. It was all like one level, you know what I'm saying? But that would be perfect for a guest room.
Right. See, but we talking about.
But that's regular stuff though. So 3 bedrooms upstairs, maybe 4, but 3, 4. Man. But anyway, 3, 4 bedrooms. And then you got the basement down there, and that's the guest room. And then maybe you can have a nice car. You don't want to have one nice car.
No, but the thing is, going back to what she said about players getting broke. I feel like I need to have a parking lot.
Right.
I need to have a parking lot. I need to have the newest. I need to have the newest Mercedes. I need to have a Tesla. I need to have a Lamborghini. I need that Bugatti.
But why is that though? Let's call it. Let's on F&S we keep it gangster. Why is the reason these dudes want that?
Oh, because one, they entertain themselves with people that always talk about that kind of stuff.
What's the other?
And the other thing is they want to look like the man.
Nah, what's the other? Women.
Well,
they want to impress females.
But that's
they want to impress females.
Well, that's.
Are you gonna say I'm lying?
No, I mean, but to me that goes into they want to look like the man.
Okay.
Because when you want to look like the man, you're not doing it just for your homeboys, your peers. Part of being the man is getting all the girls. So
right.
You want to be able to not only outshine your boys, but you want to be able to attract all the females that all your boys want.
You're right. I don't think that anybody should be obligated to take care of any fully able adult. I think it's unfair and messed up. I don't think that just because you had kids, it's right for you to handcuff their life to take care of you because you had them. I think that's very messed up. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair. That's not right. In my opinion, that's not right. If I had a kid, my objective is to make sure they're able to function without me and handle their business without me. I would be happy if they was to handle their business without me. You know
and be thankful for whatever gifts they give you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel correct. I want to be able to handle my business.
Now, on the flip side of that, say you was the parent. Mm-hmm. Say you did your job. Mm-hmm. Took care of your kids. Mm-hmm. And your kid became #1 draft pick. Mm-hmm. He gives you nothing. How does that?
I mean,
how does that?
For me personally,
because we not expecting anything.
Yeah, I'm not expecting.
We not expecting anything. But there's nothing wrong with showing gratitude.
No, it's nothing wrong with showing gratitude. I don't expect. This is my thing. The way I would parent, I've already been told, especially by Josh, saying that it'll probably be CPS be called on me and stuff like that.
Well, I was going based off of what I heard in that other episode, how you would run your house like a boot camp.
I would. But this the thing. This how, I'm not expecting nothing because I'm expecting myself to be on point.
Right.
I'm expecting myself to be on point. I'm not expecting, I can't even, there's a blockage there. I'm not expecting you to I'm expecting to be on point already. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with what I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for what you got. You know what I'm saying? I'm not expecting you to give me anything. You know what I'm saying? Because my job is to give you the tools to obtain what you got.
Right.
So I'm not wanting nothing. I don't necessarily care to have anything from you because my gift to you is the knowledge and the ability to be able to obtain that. Mm-hmm. I don't care to get. I can get whatever I gotta get myself. Because
at the end of the day, your best gift as a parent is seeing your child be successful.
For me, I'm gonna handle my business. I don't need all, like, for me, like, once you realize you don't need all that, you get older and realize you don't need all that.
Right.
I'm happy. That's my seed. That's my DNA running around on the court. No, I because I got my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need. I got my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna handle I got my own stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm handling my own business.
It ain't gonna be no funny conversations at family
dinners.
No,
I got my own trucking company or something. I'm doing my own thing. My business and my wife just handle. You do your thing. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard for me to see otherwise unless I'm disabled.
But things don't always work out for people.
It don't always work out.
So say things aren't working out, and you are in.
I mean, it's. Things don't. That's a crapshoot because you don't know. Like, people is selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are selfish.
But that's why it's a question.
And if
it's a hypothetical.
And if I asked my kid for something, it wouldn't.
No, you didn't ask him for anything. You didn't ask him.
I would say I would hope so.
Especially when he's more than capable of doing it without hurting himself.
I would say I would hope so. I would hope so. I would hope so, but it's just.
So do we pay it backwards?
Pay it back. What you mean?
That's the title. That's the title of the episode.
My thing is, I wouldn't be you. Like, it's levels to this thing here. It's layers to this.
It's different for every situation.
Yeah, it's layers because I would never tell my kid this growing up. I expect you to take care of me growing up.
No. And no parent should ever say that.
I would never say that. So if I'm struggling,
the only time that kind of conversation normally comes up is when the parents is starting to, things is going south, and you start talking about health care and things of that nature. And some parents, they even start talking about nursing homes and things of that nature. Don't put me in this kind of a nursing home.
Because I say this. My child, son or daughter, will see my face at every game. I'm there every time.
As long as I'm capable of it.
Every time.
Are you coming out of pocket to pay them tickets?
Every time.
Or is he providing you with the tickets?
What you mean? As far as like coming to school?
No. He's drafted.
I'm talking about beforehand. I'm talking about like, because we talk about for sure. But I'm talking about like expect if I'm going through a hard time. But my kid, like, cause there's things like and these are even things too that you can because some people at jobs control them. Usually kids' games is on weekends, so I'm not working on my kids' game. So I'm gonna be there, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? It's point blank period. My life is not here. You can shove that wherever you want to shove it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my kid is gonna see me. I'm gonna be there. Whatever I can do to put my kid in camps, I'm gonna do that. Whatever I gotta do to help them get to where they want to go to, they show me that's what they want to do.
If I can't put them through camps, I'm gonna be like Ja Morant's dad.
I'm gonna be there. So
like Ja Morant's dad trained him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
gonna be there. You gonna see me. I'm there. There be never a day I'm not there. So, I would think over the years of me being there, and I'm not talking about parents who ain't there. I would never be the parent to be like, you can't do this. You tell me you want to do something, I'm gonna be the parent.
We're gonna find out if you really want to do it.
Really want to do. If this is what you want to do, I'm gonna be there I'm there to support and help you. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm going through a hard situation, after them years of you seeing me be there, and it's not for you to help me either. It's just that I'm really believing in you. You know what I'm saying? I would hope all them years of me doing that would
come.
But you still not obligated.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I would hope, like, you know, if you see me going through.
But that's just part of showing love.
Word up. You know what I mean? That's all that is.
That's part of showing love. That's part of showing love, and that's part of showing respect for the past.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, if you're capable of doing it,
there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. You're not expected to do it, but you get respected for doing it.
Exactly.
But if you don't do it and you're capable of doing it, you lose respect.
Everybody needs a helping hand. Everybody had help getting to where they was at. Nobody got there alone. If you can point to me somebody that got somewhere by themselves, please tell me.
So that's why the name of the podcast has the question. Pay it backwards?
Depending on who it is, if you pay it backwards.
Outside of that, most of the time you're trying to pay it forward. You're trying to pay it forward. You're trying to have this.
So would you have the same mentality that Charles Barkley has?
What's the
Give
mentality?
anybody money
One time, I wouldn't give anybody money one time. Like I said, I'm not giving money. I'm providing you with.
I'm not against one time. Not anybody. No. If you, no. Because I ran into some people outside with the signs that was lying. On a number of occasions too. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole other story for another day. But like relatives or something that I'm cool, like, because guess what? If you handle your business, that money regenerates. My thing is money regenerates. People hold a lot of stock on money when it regenerates. You know what I'm saying? If you handle your business, it regenerates.
Well, that's the reason why it's called cash flow.
Yeah, it comes back. So whatever I give you, I know I can get it back. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna keep giving it to you.
You're not gonna look at me like
It's
I'm the
on
ATM.
you. I'm gonna make it a point to tell you, hey, it's on you what you do with this.
I'm not the ATM.
Nah.
You can't just call me and be like, it happened again. I need help.
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
We ain't doing that. Nope. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I happen to give you money, that's if.
Especially if I know the details of some of your of your life.
Yeah.
And your habits and what you like to do. Because there's some family members, I believe this exists in every family, but there's some family members that they just can't never get it together as far as they personal actions. They personal actions never seem to line up with what they say they gonna do. They always come to you, yeah, you know, I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. Or I'm fixing to start this. I'm fixing to start that. But then you hear about, oh, you done did this and got yourself caught up in this situation.
Right.
Oh, then you done did this and got yourself caught up in this situation. Or then you done did this and got yourself caught up in this situation. When I learned those kind of things, that lets me know money is not going to save you here. Money is not the help that you need. The help that you need is deeper than any paper. You need to actually like look yourself in the mirror. You might need some counseling. You might need all of that other stuff. But my dollars is not going to be no temporary band-aid for your issues.
I agree with you, but and that goes. It's very selective of who you do that to.
That's why you got to treat every person individual.
Exactly, it's on an individual basis. And if I have to give somebody a lump sum of money, then look, if I'm rolling in dough like that, I'm gonna make it a strong point. Like, hey, if I give you this is a one-time deal. It's never happening again. So if you don't do what you're supposed to do with this,
like I said, I'm not giving them the cash. I'm not giving them the cash. Oh, life ain't working out for you. All right, well, what can we do for you for school to help you learn the trade?
yeah.
What's the saying? Give a man a fish, it'll last a day. Teach a man how to fish, it'll last a lifetime.
That's what LeBron did.
I'll teach a man how to
All
fish.
his men was something.
Right.
And they constantly getting dope.
Right.
And LeBron, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? It goes to say, you always need some help to get you. I will help you. I'll pull you up out the water. But you gotta, once we get out that water, you gotta still handle your business. I'm gonna pull you out the water. But once we get on land,
If you choose to jump back in the water,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
don't expect me to just come to your aid
real.
every time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. You know?
That's why the purpose that serves is I'm gonna see what you do with this. Because if I'm paying your way through school, I get to see how serious you taking this.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And who's to say, you know, if you handle whatever you doing in school, whatever the case is, who's to say if I pay your way through school, I got some connects elsewhere. You graduate school, you handle your business. I could plug you in at this place right over here because I know
people.
You know what I'm saying?
I know people.
But you gotta show.
Especially being a professional athlete.
But you gotta show because my name on the line.
Because a professional athlete can establish connections in cities across the United States.
And that's with, and you gotta think about it, that's with health and everything. Because, you know, they got doctors they gotta deal with and all that. So if you go to medical school and you trying to be this, that, and the third, I can help you skip steps. You just gotta show that you got the drive and you willing to do that because I can plug you right in with the source.
Right.
But you gotta show that you willing to, you know what I'm saying? I can't just put my name on the line for you if you just not, you know what I mean?
Right.
But ain't that how it go with the draft? We see you out here handling your business. Before I put you on this roster, before I draft you to the Falcons, you know what I'm saying? I gotta show, you gotta show me that you can handle
To the Lions.
Yeah.
To the Lions. To the
Lions, Falcons, Titans, don't matter. If I gotta see what you do through college and show that you really like that and really want it before I draft you over here, before I give you this check.
Exactly. I mean, you gotta produce. Hard work don't just guarantee production.
Exactly.
Hard work don't guarantee production. I do appreciate former Pittsburgh Steeler James Harrison for saying that. He said he was gonna teach his kids. No, hard work doesn't guarantee that you're gonna be successful. Hard work is just hard work.
Yeah.
But you have to be productive in order to reach that success.
Exactly. Well,
Do you pay it backwards?
that's the question you should ask yourself. Guess that will conclude the episode because I hear a lot of snores.
Not just from.
Like, it's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy. So, I guess that will conclude
We started off with 4.
episode 5. I mean, you know, we had an intermission and all that. You know, we had a new format. The next one was going to be the NFL draft recap.
Yeah, I don't know when we're gonna do that. But look for that to come sometime soon.
So next week we got to go to Indiana for my brother's graduation.
That's fine. Maybe if I download.
Y'all be here Saturday though.
We'll be. We'll see what's
Well,
popping.
hold up, now don't be.
We'll see. We got cracking.
I understand that's what she said, but look, people need time to like settle down after traveling.
No, the graduation is Sunday.
We gonna
She
discuss.
keep putting business out.
we gonna discuss. We gonna discuss.
A lot of people are graduating.
We gonna discuss. We may leave Saturday.
If I download that thing.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We gonna download it. I mean, I'm gonna put it on there.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, we gonna put it on there.
All right.
And I can, whatever.
Gotcha.
I can edit it and all that stuff. I'm gonna set it up and everything. So.
Got you.
But appreciate the listen. You know what I'm saying? And it's episode 5. This concludes episode 5. Episode 6 is coming soon. And we'll come with the topic later. We out.
Peace.
F&S, the attention is to be the best. Not just sports, every box we check. Whatever topic we address. No such thing as putting us to the test. We not compromised. Guess you could say we selfish in that sense. What's your top 10? We break it down a list. Not moved by analytics. We judging off live production. Handle your business, we talk about it. Stick up the bill, then we talk about it. Not just star focus. Attention goes to the whole roster. Show you how to conduct a show proper. No props, all dialogue. Fact droppers. This the right show you chose? Keep you in the know but never move the goalpost.